Good evening and welcome back to the July 21st, 2025 Board of Select Persons meeting. We are now out of executive session and we will start our normal selectmen meeting. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I look for a motion to accept the warrants.
So moved. Up the warrant.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? None? All right. Would somebody read the announcements, please?
The next semi-sesquicentennial meeting for the town's 250th anniversary will be Thursday, August 7th at 6 p.m. at the fire station. Please reach out to Lisa LePage for more information, 651-1594. The tax collector and town clerk will be closed on Fridays until September 26th. Sorry for the inconvenience. And the select board is meeting every other week. The next select board meeting will be Monday, August 4th at 7 p.m. The planning board will meet on Wednesday, August 6th at 7 p.m. And bingo will be held at the Bricktown Hall on Wednesday, the 23rd. The 30th, doors open at 4:40 and calling will begin at 6 p.m. There will be a 50-50 and snacks will be available for purchase. Come join the fun. The CDAC Deep Vale Committee will meet on Thursday, 7/24 in the media room at 6 p.m. And as part of the hearing of citizens policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public will be tolerated. During any meetings, please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Select Persons. Outside the public meeting, please stay current with town information by visiting www.limerickme.org. And the Limerick Planning Board will do a site walk on Wednesday, August 20th at 6 p.m. at 549 Doles Ridge Road for an application from Novel Energy Solutions for a conditional use permit for map 43, lot 6 and 6A for a community solar garden array. A public hearing will follow at 7 p.m. at the municipal building. That is it.
Thank you. We will move on to department reports. I have Cindy Smith.
So this is a report about the cemetery, the Hillside Cemetery. So I met with Maintain the Memory owner, Judson Starr, on Thursday, along with Sarah Kinsley. She's the person that has been cleaning headstones up there between the Baptist Cemetery and the Hillside Cemetery. She's been doing that for years. While we were there, John Medici showed up, so we had a good walkthrough of the cemetery to see what was needed. His original proposal was $800 to fix one headstone, because now we have 9 headstones that we want to have done. It's $900 a day. He figures he can do it in 2 days, 2.5 days. But we have scheduled him, well, not exactly scheduled, but we're saying 5 days for $4,500. And he has a list of the headstones that he'll work on to start with, and he'll be here Friday and Saturday of this week. And then we'll figure he's not available again until mid-August, once he comes this weekend.
Wasn't he 8? I thought you said it was $800 a day. I thought that was his original quote was $800 because that was his day rate. I could be wrong.
I believe it's $900.
Okay.
And it was $800 for that one stone.
Okay.
Because I think maybe he figured it wasn't going to take him a full day.
Okay.
So what he explained was that now that we have more stones, it's a better rate, because he can work on one stone and, prep it, do what he needs to, and then go to the next stone. There's 2 veteran stones that are tipped completely over, and then there's other veteran stones that just need a little bit of help. So he'll work in different sections. So I just thought I would let you know that.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Next, I have Stan Hackett.
Stan Hackett. I'm going to represent Casey Gray as well tonight, but on what Cindy was saying, I want you to be aware that there are federal and state funds available to help with stones and cemetery maintenance. We do have one on Cram Road that somebody had decimated all of the headstones, and the Veterans Administration is going to reevaluate and take care of all of the costs to restore that cemetery, which is the cemetery that the first white woman in Limerick is buried in. So those are the things we need to look at, and the state will aid in anything with cemeteries. So let's go on to Casey Gray's report. Map 39, Lot 105, Dog Road. With a little research and some training that I went through with the state of Maine, we found there is another loophole, and the town has had Lot 105 and Lot 106 at the time under town forestry, so the town actually owned it without contesting, and that is moving forward. And as soon as the title company person is off on vacation, you will close on that property if the town agrees for $95,000. All of that money goes to the town. There is no proceeds, no nothing. That is all the town's proceeds. 140 Parsonsfield Road was, they turned around and said that they couldn't get a septic system in it, so they backed out. The only place that property can have a subsurface system is up near the road, and it's going to be a one of the $40,000 systems with a pump system. So the people decided to back out of that. She would like to relist that if the board will entertain that for a reduction price of $35,000. We know there was somebody else that bid for it for $10,000 and another $10,000 bid, but because we accepted the $38,000, those bids are no longer valid. So if those people want to rebid, they can rebid, but she would ask that the town do a price reduction for $35,000 and relist the property. And I do have that if the town wants to do that.
I offer $10,000 cash.
And again, that is okay, but unfortunately, let me explain. The problem is the property is tax acquired, so the town has to follow the state obligation. Okay? So if you want to bid on the property, you've got to have a realtor that will go to Casey and bid on that property. Okay? You can't just bid on it with the select board, all right?
I'll call her and we'll offer $10,000 again.
All right, so get a hold of the realtor, please, and do it that way. The state does not allow the select board to be involved on tax-acquired property, so it has to go through a real estate agent to do that. The board
Stands that I said before.
Okay, that's good, but I'm explaining, it has to go through the realtor. The board can accept whatever bids are in front of them. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most profitable, but the board, for the benefit of the town, has to go through the realtor in order to accept a bid. No, it's not that. What this is, the state on tax acquired, let me explain this. It went through a federal thing, and then the state of Maine got caught in it, is the reason why tax-acquired properties have to go through a realtor is to maximize the most profit for the former owner. It's not for the town, it's for the former owner. So if there are any proceeds, and in this case, there's possible proceeds, then it will go to the former owner or anybody that has claim on that property. So that is why the select boards on tax-acquired properties are not directly involved. It has to go to a realtor, and then it goes to the town realtor, and then they present it as we are doing tonight. All right? So you can offer 10,000, you can offer 5,000, you can offer 2,000, but it has to go through the realtor first. The board is not privy to who bids. So, and if you make that...
Why they sell the industrial park lots without a realtor?
Because it was town-owned property, all right? That's not tax-acquired, it's town-owned property. So there are differences, and I'm here to answer any of those questions if you need to, but the board needs to stay neutral on tax-acquired properties only. We still own, the town still owns about 120 of its own properties by title, but we still have about 70 tax-acquired properties, right? So those have to go by state statute, which was adopted last year, and unfortunately the towns don't have a lot of say. If the town does not make an initiative to sell those, then the state will come in under the repurposed division, and they will take those and they will develop them on their own, and the town has no say whatsoever. Right? So that's how that works. But in Limerick, we have proven that the town is interested and has proven that we will move forward on tax-acquired properties. This year alone, we had 7 new acquired properties. 6 of them, we were able to get them back into their properties. That's our goal. And prior to that, we were able to get 30. And I'd like to say it's me, but it's not me. It's the town as a whole, all right? We're able to talk to them, get them, find them financing, whatever was needed to get them to get back into their properties, all right? And in some cases, the town negotiated because some of it was in discrepancy areas. So rather than the town taking the property, the town has the right to say no, but they didn't do that. They wanted these people back in their property. So 30 of those properties, which is more than half of what we sold last year, were able to regain their proprietorship of that property. One of them was a church. They didn't even know they owned it, but they inherited it by somebody's death, all right? So they did pay what was owed to the town. And unfortunately, on tax-acquired properties, the town, by state statute, has to protect what it has in interest. In Lot 140, it's about $5,600 at this point, and it changes every day, minutely by interest, but it does change. But all of the tax-acquired properties have to go through real estate. If the board is tainted by those, then it jeopardizes the actual sale, and the state could come in and take that property. So that is why I caution people going to the board, I'll offer you this amount of money, because the board needs to get the best market value according to the state. Now, this is not the town, this is the state. The state in northern Maine has taken over several properties because the townships, and these are not municipalities, these are unorganized townships, did not move forward. So they took those properties, and this was on the news, and they're doing the repurpose, and now they are low-income housing. So we're avoiding that. But Limerick...
What's the date limit on that?
I'm sorry?
What's the date limit? You're saying posted. It's already been posted. Everyone knows that this land's been for sale.
It's been on sale, all right.
And it's
But once... Okay, so what he's asking is what the limitations are once we put it up for sale. All right? So the limitation on it is 12 months, okay? Or 3 realtors say they cannot sell that property under the conditions that it's in. All right? So we haven't listed it for 12 months yet. It has not been denied by 3 realtors. So again, the realtors trying to make the best effort and get the maximized profit. All right. Now, if these people propose 10,000, 15,000, and they go through the proper process, which is through a realtor who presents it to Casey, who is our realtor or the town realtor, then she will present that to the town without people's names. They cannot be known. Then the board, she will say, I recommend selling it here, or I recommend selling it there. We can't maximize our profit, all right? There is limitations. That is 2 lots. One of those lots is very much within a wetland, and it's a man-made wetland. It's a drainage from the opposite side of the street. So there can't be any buildings there. The items that are there now are draining onto the property itself, and that is where the sheriff's department, before the state police got involved, and I went down, and we told him that they cannot do this. They had to have a porta potty and move it away from the drainage area of the wetland. So that was done. But again, the property has a little bit of history. It needs to be cleaned up, whoever owns it. So again, if you're interested, please talk to a realtor. Call our realtor, all right? She will recommend or get another realtor involved, and she has done that before, but she can't be directly involved with the sale. She represents the town. And I know you think that this is funny, but it's not. This is transparency at its best. The board is doing its best to make sure these properties are being back on the revenues, and that is our job, okay? But again, in the past, what the board used to be able to do was sell it at auction, whether it was $100 or $50,000, but it was never transparent, okay? It could have been, and this town, from my knowledge so far, has not done that, but there was another town, we won't name Lebanon, is they used to take it and just sell it, and it ended up being a select board member or somebody representing a select board, okay? So this is why the state has said, no, all tax-acquired properties have to go through a realtor, and the realtor presents the sale at its sale price without a name, and she has done that repeatedly. Then the board, she may recommend, well, you're not going to get this amount of money, so take this price, okay? And that may happen at this point. That lot, right now, as it stands, is not a buildable lot, so it's not worth a buildable price, okay?
So why are we dropping it $2,000?
Well, again, we have to go by the realtor and the market value, okay? She's not saying, or the realtor, and I'm not just saying she, but the realtors are not saying that you can't offer $10,000, which some of you have, okay?
Well, see, me and Chaz are on the same.
But her job under state statute, or his job under state statute, is to sell it at market value. So that is what's being listed. Market value right now is $30,000 to $40,000 for those 2 lots, okay?
Plus 40,000 for the septic,
But
plus septic design, plus the well,
but-
plus
I-
keep going, plus
Excuse me, I want to make a motion that we relist the lot for $35,000 on Parsons Hill Road and move on.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
And I don't want people to go away thinking that the board has got something to do with this. They don't, right? This is all state statute, all right? And it's based on market value.
Yeah.
We're in
If you-
discussion right now.
If you have more questions, please contact me or Dottie, and we will go through it with you. But the board is not involved with this. This is something separate, and the board did appoint me to represent the assessing part of tax acquired. So I'll be more than happy to spend the time with you to explain it. Right?
I give Chaz, I give the town, I give them all of that.
All those in favor on relisting the lot?
But,
All right.
okay. So,
Opposed?
thank you. So the board has voted to reduce the price to $35,000 on that property. If anybody wishes to bid on that property, it doesn't have to be $35,000. You bid on it what you think it's worth, okay? But you have to rebid because of the statute. The board accepted a bid last week or the week before, and that nullified any other previous bid. So rebid, okay? If you got any questions, we're more than happy to answer those. That's what we're here there for, right? So code enforcement, I wanted to update everybody. We did have a meeting with the planning board and the select board last Wednesday, and we came up with some things, and I did bring that with me tonight. But as far as permitting, I wanted to bring everybody up to date. Building and plumbing permits is $88,704. Business licenses right now is $11,833. We're still shy about $8,000 because we got two that I know of illegal that have now started the process of licensing, so that's another approximately $8,000 to that. Dottie has written less the plumbing fees is $2,962, and then there's a surcharge from the state of $540, which makes our total fees collected to date $97,035.28. We've issued permits to date 107. Out of those 107, 35 of those are dwelling units, which will lead us into the next category of what we discussed with the planning board and the select board. We have been going back and forth about a moratorium and a growth ordinance and other things. The moratorium right now, under my opinion and under the board's opinions, not necessarily the select board, but as we have discussed this, the moratorium is very important to reduce subdivisions of 7 or more. The reason being is subdivisions, we have 2 that are potentially 100 and more lots. And those have a significant effect on your emergency services as well as your infrastructure and your administrative. Some of that we can calculate very easily. One of the biggest impacts people will notice is your school district and what you pay per dwelling unit on your school district. And somebody mentioned at a last meeting that it was around $18,000 per dwelling. So if you look at that and then we add on an extra 10 to 20 dwellings because of the increase, or if these subdivisions go on to, one example, Prokey subdivision could be 105 lots. The Grover subdivision's 164 lots. So if you add those plus $18,000 for family, then you're talking a substantial hit to your school, which the taxpayers are going to pay. So the boards have both agreed and want to take the time to put a moratorium and to be able to evaluate this for at least 180 days to see what we can do to offset it, which is possibly impact fees. The other thing is the growth ordinance. There is a fee on that for the application. It used to be in 2003, $100. Now it's roughly $500, but that's going to be up to the boards to decide definitely. I have prematurely put, or assumedly put, $500 because that's the going rate per application. Right. So we do have a moratorium, which the board has a copy of, and I will ask it to be posted. These are just proposed. These are not definites. And we do have a growth ordinance, which I thought I was completed this weekend, but then I realized we have another new law coming up in September 1st. So I had to go through and reevaluate what the conflicts could be. So you have 10 pages of that, which is a draft and a proposal. And everybody really needs to look at it, and I really would appreciate, and the town would appreciate, anybody's input on this because it's very important. Everybody wants to keep the values and the community senses that Limerick has, but Limerick is now on the outskirts of the growth, and it's growing very rapidly. And we have the land for it to grow rapidly. And there are some people that are elderly, and one of them is on Wayne Griffiths Road, and when he passes, his daughter has already expressed that she wants to develop it, and he owns from Wayne Griffiths to Watson Hill Road. So we want to take the time, and that's what the moratorium is, for a minimum of 180 days. If we don't finish, the select board, by statute, has the right to extend it another 180 days. And if we do come with a compromise or a solution, then the select board can release the moratorium prematurely. But it allows the town enough time to evaluate the effects and the impact that it will have on your community. And we need to do that. We have really never, outside of 2003, really sat down and looked at the comprehensive plan and all of the impacts that it will have, including on your emergency services, your infrastructure, which are roads, and 90% of your roads are dirt. So the more travel, the more maintenance they're going to require. So this is why the boards got together, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, decided to do the moratorium to allow everybody to have the time to hear from the residents as well as from the board's experiences to evaluate within 180 days what we can do to help offset those impacts, whether it's an impact fee, and most towns are doing that. Lake Arrowhead charges $10,000 to $15,000. Standish is now between $2,000 and $5,000, depending on degree of the subdivision and the impact. I think we can simplify things by saying a standard impact fee, right?
Excuse me, didn't we agree the other night that immediately we would put together, we would request at the next possible town meeting vote, be special election or scheduled, that we are going to put a moratorium on all subdivisions greater than 6 lots?
Yes, and that's what this is, for 7 or more.
7 or more.
Okay, that's what this draft is, and I did not ask Brady's consent, but I did send this to the attorney to make sure that I didn't miss anything as far as conflicts on the new laws coming up in September. So they have it. I'm pretty sure that it's pretty accurate, but again, I would rather be safe than sorry and make sure that we're not in conflict. But the moratorium is asking the people to vote to allow the town another 180 days or 180 days to look at what the impacts are and to address any ordinance issues that we have. And we do have some, because the laws are changing very rapidly. I think I spoke at the planning board meeting and I told them there is the new law that's coming in effect is effective September 1st, then 2026 and 2027. What the legislative did beyond that, and you saw it on the news with the House Speaker Fecto, he said they're still in the crunch and towns are not adhering to the regulations the state has put in place. So now they enacted 1829, which is reducing municipality home rule, which is limiting the ability for the towns to say no, right? And one of the things is they've changed the subdivision in the aspects of dwelling units. It no longer, in anything of the subdivision, it always was triggered by 3s. So if it was 3 dwellings or 3 housing units, it triggered a subdivision review. Now it is if you have a property or a building with 5 units or 4 units, it will not trigger subdivision. The 5th unit will trigger subdivision. The land division still remains at 3 currently, and again, they're fighting that. One of the other things we're fighting is that every single family home has a sprinkler system. The problem with that is there is a cistern in the basement, and that requires the homeowner to maintain. So we need to review those. The other aspect that's been brought up, and again, at the point we did to try to do it a few years ago, we weren't ready because there were so many things going on, but subdivisions may require cisterns versus a dry hydrant or a fire pond. Fire ponds are very maintenance heavy. Cisterns have a lot of maintenance to them too. I mean, dry hydrants. But cisterns, the newer ones, have a sight valve on them, just like an oil tank. It says how much water's in them. Yes, periodically they have to be flushed, but the biggest point there is, versus the old cisterns, is a tanker can pull up and hook onto it, and they don't have to disengage when they stop pumping. The other problem previously was they were hooked to these cisterns, and if they didn't disengage when it ran out of water or they stopped pumping, it would blow a pump. Now that's not happening. It has a dual flow that doesn't allow it to blow the pumps on the trucks. So there is some advantages. We need to get with the fire chief and do those things and see really what's best for the town, and that will be part of the planning board process. The fire chief is aware of this. We've been working on it for a couple of years. But those are the things we really need to look at. But the 180 days will allow the town to really start looking at, for once, your comprehensive plan, your ordinances, your subdivision. What is the impacts, and where do we want to be in 10 years or 20 years? We're growing very fast. So you do have the moratorium in front of you, and you do have a draft growth ordinance in front of you as well, which was also asked at that meeting to have it prepared so that the town could vote simultaneously on both. We do need to limit the growth, and right now the growth ordinance would be limited to 30 permits for dwellings. 10% of those are reserved for low income or affordable housing. So again, those, and if you don't use the 30 permits in 1 year, the remaining ones up to 6 in this growth ordinance will be allowed to be carried on to the next year. So if we had 10 left over, only 6 of them can be carried on. Low income, the same thing. If there's 10 left over, there's only 6 that can be carried over. It's only 10% of the permits allowed. So right now, if we're at 30, this growth permit for low income is 3 low income or affordable housing permits have to be reserved. The other 27 are split between subdivisions and other housing. So those are the things we need to really look at. But that's what you have right now. And I was asked to have the drafts here, and I do have the drafts. Are they perfect? No, they're not. The attorney is looking at them now for conflicts. And again, the laws have changed so much, I would really prefer that they look for the conflicts. I tried to avoid anything, but again, it's just one versus many heads. So, but that's what I have. And I know at the planning board meeting, everybody asked, when do we want to do this? So that is up to the planning board if they want to call for a special town meeting to have a moratorium. If they want to do the growth ordinance at the same time or whatever. But at this point, we need to move forward and look for the best interests of the community and for the town.
So I make a motion based on timing and schedule at the next possible total town vote. We have a warrant article to enact the moratorium ordinance as presented once approved by the attorney.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
And that's only for subdivisions of 7 lots or greater.
And again, that's only for the moratorium.
Yeah.
So,
The growth ordinance, I think we
Is
had
that for
talked.
September 2nd?
What's that?
Is that for the September 2nd?
We gotta figure when we can get it with,
We ought to have it ahead of time.
is that the next vote? We have the special town meeting? So yeah, the next special town meeting, we should be able to fit it in.
All those in favor? Opposed?
so that leaves the other issue with the growth ordinance. Do you want to table that or let it go? Or do you want to present that at the same time as presented at the planning board meeting?
I know I think that's gonna require at least one more meeting with
Okay.
the planning board,
That's fine.
because we
And
didn't
I'm
come to
gonna,
any consensus with them on that.
I'll tell everybody that the select board has only presented the drafts today, so they haven't really seen a lot of this. They have seen the moratorium prior to it, but the growth ordinance, because of the new laws, there's a lot of changes in the original one that they had in 2003. So for the board to take the time to evaluate that and see really what the pros and cons are, I have no issue with that at all. I think that's a good idea.
Getting back to the permits, how many building permits have been issued so far this year, Stan?
We've issued over 100 building permits. 33 of those right now are new dwelling units. Okay. We have several still pending. We have 2 subdivisions that are in the wings. One is going to be presented very soon. That's along the Lair Drive. So that's another 7, at least 7. Now remember, under the new law, and as of September 1st, this is going to change, but under the current law, these people can put 2 dwellings on each lot. If it's served by water or sewer or both, then they can put 4. Okay, so we're talking a Lair Drive. Right now, they're thinking single family, but again, the options are still wide open. We have Prokey, Donald Prokey, who has been off and on again with the planning board for 20 years. He is now in discussions or negotiations with Picard. Picard wants to buy the entire property. They don't want to do lot by lot. That's 105 acres, which is 155 acres, which is 104 lots. Right now, that's not serviced by water or sewer, so that only allows the maximum of 2 right now under the current law. The new law in September may allow 2 additional. So again, the advantage with some of these subdivisions, we know Coffin Hill Road and Staple Hills Road needs a lot of maintenance and brought up to road standards. The town is not obligated. If a contractor or a developer wants to develop that kind of subdivision, they are responsible to bring those roads up to standards. Picard's initially has said they don't have a problem with it. Donald Prokey also said that back in early 2000s when he was there, but he has since backed out. We also have the Grover subdivision, which was actually approved by the planning board in the 70s, and that is 164 lots, right? Individual lots. So that is probably more probable that it would be able to be connected to water and sewer because of the vicinity of it. But again, that's an assumption. But those are the things that this moratorium will allow the town to look at and evaluate. Do we want to require a mandatory hookup to water and sewer within a certain distance? What are the impacts so that we can offset those? Do we need to, if necessary, do an impact fee to help offset some of the extra cost? So that's why this is all presented. And if there are any other questions, if anybody has any questions, please ask. Because I don't have all the answers, but I will certainly strive to get them.
All right. Thank you for presenting this.
Okay. So the last thing I want to say before I exit is I apologize if I haven't done my job as some of you have expected. At this point, I would recommend that the board probably find another code enforcement officer to move forward. I am very much considering and resigning, and I don't think that I'm adequate enough or I have done everything that I can do at this point as a code enforcement officer for the town. So I'm not giving my definite resignation, but I think it's worth the board looking at finding somebody else. Okay. Other than that, are there any other questions?
I do not have any. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Pelletier.
Hello, Vinnie Pelletier, Fire Chief of Limerick. June, department report. Start out with the calls for June. We had 54 calls, 12 fire calls. 3 of those were mutual aid fires. 42 EMS calls, and our ambulance went mutual aid 8 times. Professional development, we've had one member recently get licensed at the basic EMT level. Another member is awaiting certification, still going through the testing process. We had one member complete the York County Fire Academy, so now is certified in Firefighter 1 and 2 state certification. So we're gaining certifications as we move forward, which is always good for the organization. We're looking to put together a fire officer program this fall. I'm looking to do that in-house for our current officers and then younger members or other members that aspire to be officers someday. Hopefully we can get a dozen people in the program so our officers can have the training they need to do their job and run emergency scenes effectively and safely. We're hoping, so we got a $15,000 grant from Maine EMS. Part of that can be leadership training. All of our members supervise EMS type calls for the most part. So we're going to look to utilize some of that money to offset the cost of this training, much like we did with the ice rescue training that was fully funded by the EMS grant. Last thing, the November ballot, there's 2 items I'm looking to place on the ballot to meet the needs of the Fire EMS department. The first item is replacing ambulance 2. That's our older ambulance. It's a 2016 chassis. The build was actually finished in January of 2017. That vehicle has 90,000 miles on it. We contemplated re-chassis in a current box, but I think the popular thought now is we would give up on some technology and safety features that newer ambulances have. This vehicle will be 10 years old when we look at if we're going to re-chassis. So I think the better benefit long-term is to get the latest technology and safety features for both our patients and the people working the ambulance. If we get the vote in November, probably looking at a delivery in late 27, maybe early 28. Ambulances are 2 years out, plus or minus at this point. That'll put the current one in that 10, 11 year range, which is a reasonable number based on the mileage we put on them transporting so far to the hospitals. We've spoken to 2 vendors to just try to get some price estimates so we can ask for the right amount of money from the voters. This is coming out of the rescue billing account, and I'll talk about that at the end. The prices we've seen between $425,000, $475,000, and then you can take out whatever we would get for trade, or if we attempt to sell the ambulance ourselves. Trade-in from the 2 people we talked to, the low number was $25,000, the higher number was $45,000. For trade-in, the ambulance is very good condition. They agree. They just can't do a huge trade because they've got to put a lot of work and money into it to get it to meet all certifications, so they can resell it from their perspective. Different requirements, we can sell it as is type thing. I think a safe estimate is $75,000 we could get for that, and one of the vendors I spoke to said that would probably be a low point, probably be closer to $100,000 based on supply and demand. Right now, people waiting over 2 years for an ambulance. Their value is a little more than it used to be, say pre-COVID. So that's what we're looking at for the first item. We want to get that on the ballot. Hopefully, we can get the support of the Budget Committee and the Select Board on that question. We are meeting with one more vendor just to make sure our numbers are good and see what's out there. But once we get the vote, November, if we get the vote, we would like to go into contract sooner than later, so we'll get bids, requests for proposals out there as quick as possible, get this ball rolling so we can keep maintaining the service we offer now. Second item is a CPR device, a mechanical CPR device. We currently own one of those, but we have 2 ambulances, and it would be nice to have a device on each ambulance. If the ambulance is out of town, at the hospital, or on another call, it'd be nice to have that device on the second rescue that would be responding. Our numbers are up. We are, I won't say frequently, but more often than we had in the past, staffing the second ambulance, covering second calls. That's great for the community. They get a quicker service, quicker response. Obviously, it benefits in the revenue department as well, the billing account. So, yeah, they're good devices. They're the latest and greatest in, I won't say the healthcare world, but in emergency medicine. Lucas devices they replace human beings with CPR. They can give high quality CPR for unlimited time till the battery dies. Humans cannot possibly do the quality CPR of these devices or the length of time that they can perform. So they're a good investment for the community. So as I mentioned, looking to get the vote for that out of the billing account, looking for the townspeople to approve that money to come out of the billing account. The current status of the billing account this year, 6 months into this year, we've billed out $132,000. So project out, that's probably about $264,000. I projected that at about $220,000 because we do pay the billing company 6% of that money. And then there's some other, we have the fire station payments, $25,000 comes out of that money. So I projected this year at $220,000, which is significantly higher than even last year. So it goes up significantly every year, it seems. 5 years ago, that was in the low 100,000. When I first started in town, I think our highest year was $107,000. We're well over $200,000 now based on staffing our shifts, which means we cover our own calls, so we don't have other towns coming in, losing revenue that way. And then, obviously, I've spoken before, we'll renegotiate the insurance company contracts, and then we've recently had a 5% increase in our billing. So the account is maintaining itself well. We've mentioned this before, Sonny LePage set this up many years ago, and it's carrying through. Surprisingly, with the prices of equipment and vehicles going up as much as they've had in the last few years, this program is still maintaining. The current balance is around $800,000. So by the end of this year, we should be around $1 million in that account. The next item we would look to replace, looking at our vehicles down the road, in 2027, we'll look to replace our tanker. That's that vehicle's a 2000 tanker. Cost estimate on that is probably $750,000. The billing account should be back to about $1 million after, if we get approval to buy the ambulance and the CPR device, we should be back up around $1 million at that time when we're ready to purchase the tanker. So the account is maintaining better than I kind of anticipated, given the increases annually on these vehicles, 10 to 15%. So that's what I'm looking for to get on the ballot in November.
If, I'm looking at a financial report from June 6, assuming this is correct, you've got a fire department donation account
Yep.
that's got almost $27,000 in it.
Yep.
Would you be willing to use that to buy the CPR devices now? You have them sooner rather than later?
Yeah, we could potentially. I don't understand the donation account. Ever since I've been here, I've never got a clear answer on what the intent of that is. I'm sure it's written down someplace. I know my understanding is when the auxiliary disbanded, whatever funds they had, so that those funds got put in account. When the fire department went from a volunteer organization to a municipal fire department under the town, there was some funds there also went in, and we do get donations, frequently from townspeople. So I just don't know what the intent of that is. I think we could use some of that money. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't imagine that it could be anything better than a couple of CPR devices, right? And I would assume the sooner you get those, the better.
Yep. And we also have and I didn't include it because I didn't have the numbers, the ambulance revenue program. Since we started that 3 or 4 years ago, there's probably $30,000 to $35,000.
But that went into the rescue billing account.
Has that been folded in?
Well,
Or
that's supposed to
be annually. It's supposed to be annually put into the main
rescue
account.
billing account.
Yep. So I don't know if that's actually been transferred since we started.
So you had the current balance of $800,000. As of the other day, it was $823,000. So it's close, but that might be the difference. Is maybe that was
Yep.
put in.
Yep. That's correct. That could be.
Wasn't that $27,000 supposed to be for the fire department to spend however they wanted to spend it?
I don't.
That didn't have to go through the town.
Right, it's what I needed for the fire EMS department.
The donation account was for the fire department to spend as they wanted. If they needed niceties or anything
Number
else.
1, 2?
And then it had to go in, it used to be in its own account, then it had to get combined into the town accounts, but that money was still supposed to be utilized by the fire department to spend as they saw
So I
fit.
don't know if we want to use that for that or not.
We can look into it. We can.
I mean, we have a lot of these accounts just sitting there. Not just for there's a fire department building donation account. So there's some money there. I guess if you need something for you, it'd just be nice to clean some of these things up. Mm-hmm. And if it's certainly that seems like a valid need. We carry these things forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and they don't get used, and it makes no sense.
We did in the past buy equipment for that donation account. We have bought equipment.
There must be a record of when that occurred, and there must be some, I'm assuming, documentation on when Sonny set up the billing account, it was very clear cut, right? Fire department equipment and vehicles, which, it was designed for. So, I don't know if there's something with this fund as well. I have no idea. Nobody's ever
Well, we
given
got
me
a lot of history in the room. People
was
seem it was set up for the fire department to spend as they wish.
to use to spend as they went. They needed tables for upstairs, if they wanted to buy TVs or whatever it was. If you think that's, if it's at the department's discretion, they want to buy a Lucas device, that's all well and good, whatever they want to use it for.
Okay, we have an officers meeting scheduled tomorrow night. Let me speak with them because we got history in that group as well that have been here many years. So figure out if we can do that or if they want to do that. Or yeah, it's a good use of money. It definitely it's a life-saving piece of equipment. So definitely has value. Other questions?
Vinny, on the cost of like fire trucks and stuff like that, is there a federal law or state law that says so many years we gotta have a new vehicle?
Not that I'm aware of. A lot of places use 20 years as a standard, but it's called volume dependent, obviously. I mean, we're not doing 5,000 calls a year. And a place that's doing 4,000 or 5,000 calls a year, they're probably lucky to get 20 years out of the vehicle. So like our tanker, a lot of people will run tankers a little longer. They don't get a lot of use. They're extremely valuable when you need them. That's our water supply outside the hydrant district. So, but they're not doing 300 calls a year. So they're not getting, you can stretch them. I mean, they do commercial inspection annually. So, you know, if there was ever an issue, we would know that ahead of time. So, yeah, a lot of towns will run them beyond. I don't have a solid number. I don't believe there's an NFPA standard that says you must replace in a certain time frame.
I think the longer we could get use out of those without having to put the burden on the town for $400,000, $500,000 every so many years.
Yep. The ambulances are different. 10 years is a good lifespan for an ambulance. There's a lot of wear and tear.
That's not putting the burden on the town, right? It's coming out of the billing
Out of
account.
the rest of the billing, yeah. Yeah,
We're not raising money
in
for
this
that.
particular ambulance, we did dump quite a bit of money into it last year. We had a turbo go. The diesel emission system had an issue. The diesel particulate filter had to be replaced. It was pretty pricey, so we did dump some money into this one. Knock on wood, we haven't had any major issues since, so.
Ambulances originally set up how they were replaced every 5 years, so the oldest ambulance you had was like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, if you buy one every 5 years, then you get a 10-year lifespan. And in reality, we could 11 or 12 would not be horrible, and we're probably going to push that just based on the build time that's required to build them. So, but you got to have them. Anybody else?
You still waiting to get with Julie to get your account squared so you know what the line items are? Or I know
The only accounts with Julie, I know John's been working on some. The ambulance billing was straightened out. They got that where they got solid numbers on that. I think, and I don't know if you've done any additional work, John, it was the fire station construction account where to post the really only one we didn't use. So we had a $100,000 contingency. We didn't use any of that. That's kind of a moot point, I guess. Now, the furnishings was the other one. We had $125,000 set aside for furnishings. I think we spent about 70 of that. And it was
But it got posted.
as last year.
It got posted to a regular, like your
It got
operational expense.
posted to our annual operation account, correct?
So that
which-
is one thing that they are gonna, that's one of the type of things the auditor is gonna fix.
Yep.
But what the auditor said was she cannot fix all the posting corrections so that everybody's line items in their budget, if the correction did not affect their bottom line budget, so let's say in Vinnie's case, if diesel got posted to his CMP account, that wouldn't affect his bottom line budget because it was going to be spent out of his budget anyways. She doesn't have the time, the energy, and she said, you don't have the money that it would take to have me fix those corrections. So that's the auditors. The auditor is hopefully getting close to being done, but she did say that if Julie wanted to sit with each department head, as we would hope that would be done, you can look through those individually and say, hey, this bill that says CMP was diesel, and I'm just using an example.
Yeah, no, I
That
think
you can do that.
what I've looked at this year in expense reports and last year, there's not a lot of those kinds of posting areas. It's more the brush truck is a good one, right? We approved $50,000, $40,000 from the undesignated got transferred at one point, and then we got 50 approved out of the rescue billing, but they never got put in one account. So those postings that are hanging out there, just need to be applied to the
And
proper account. My
they-
day-to-day stuff is
They
like my
need to be
expense
applied
report this
properly.
year is clean.
But the money we didn't spend has to go back where it belongs also.
Yep.
Even the 100,000 for the contingency for the building. Like, that transaction needs to be, now that building's closed out,
Yep.
$100,000 needs to go back where it belongs. The excess money for the brush truck needs to go back where it belongs, because the report we have shows the brush truck still has a healthy
Yeah,
balance. So,
most of the financials of mine are capital items.
It's
I know we
the
had,
capital items where there's some
right,
issues.
we had gotten 48,000. There was one at the end of the budget years. You guys had undesignated, and 48,000 went towards protective gear. We spent that money, and I know at some point I came across that line, and it's still showing the 40. It's like, yeah, so it's all capital stuff, including I think the SCBA.
The SCBA
as well.
has all been spent and bought.
No,
No.
we had the
the
last
Earning
vote.
towards it.
The
Like you're
last
building
vote
that
we
up.
got 30,000.
All right. So that's
Yeah.
still showing 26,000 left.
So yes, that's an accurate number. We had 30 sitting there. We spent just over 30 on the air bottles. We replaced the air cylinders. Now we need to do the packs themselves, the harnesses. So we were building up for that. So
Okay, good.
that $4,000 or whatever it was is probably what we were over. But and that's actually another ballot question we're going to have back on this year. Is
The brush
another
truck is
30.
showing that it still has 62,000. That's not correct.
showing it still has 62, but I
Yeah.
believe there's another one that shows it's negative 59 or something.
So those two will closely wash out
Yep.
if those,
Yeah, I
if
think-
those corrections are made.
I know I've had this conversation with Bernie. He's my
Yeah.
liaison. Our numbers are all good. We're
Yeah,
square.
I think everything's
everywhere.
great.
Yep.
I think
It's just the
everybody
documentation.
knows the numbers are good.
Yep.
It's just that we can't
cleaning it up.
validate them on paper.
Yep. Everything.
You talked to Julie about that situation?
Yeah, I've sent back when. Yes, we've talked. The simple answer is yes. We have talked a few times about it. I sent a list when the previous treasurer came back. I sent the list of items, and the thought process was she was here when it occurred. She'd have a better history of those events and how things normally, happened in the past. Just that historical knowledge, I guess, right? But I don't know where we're at. I thought at one point I was under the impression they were going to work on it, and then we'd sit, or I would sit, or we would sit with the auditor. And I mean, my list is relatively short. I think I can spend a half an hour with the auditor and paint that picture for them, paint the roadmap, and they can. I think part of the issue, and I'm not positive, is when we get money approved, but the accounts never get set up or funded, right? So we go on the ballot for $30,000 for SCBA. Someone, it passes, someone's going to set up that account, someone's going to make the transfer. And I think maybe some of the stuff, like the $48,000 for the gear and the original $40,000 for the brush truck, that came out of budget committee, I believe. We talked about taking that out of undesignated, I believe. I don't know if that ever actually occurred. That's part of the.
And that's what she's working on. That's
Yep.
what the auditor is working on, by
Yep.
going through
Yep.
the old votes. She has all those
Yep.
to try to get them.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a system in place, or if we need a system that when money's approved, the town needs a new widget and we approve $1 million, somebody's got to set up a widget account and move the $1 million into the account, and then we can post against it when we buy the widget or whatever item. So I think maybe that's part of the problem with the capital items, I think.
They should be set up as soon as they're approved.
Approved, yep,
And then if they're funded,
yep.
and if you
Yep.
spend out of there, it should come out of there. And then you know what your balance is, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I agree with
Addition
your
and
statement.
subtraction.
Everything, it's just a matter of cleaning up paperwork. Everything, I know for a fact, everything we've spent since I've been here is within we've never gone over any budget that I know as far as, as long as I've been here, so.
Including building the fire station.
Yeah, including fire stations, yep. So. Anything else?
Any other questions?
All right,
Thank you, Chief. Next, I have Joanne Andrews, Transfer Station.
Oh, I gotta
Few things to discuss. I'll start with my regular report. We just got a check for a little over $500 for the miscellaneous copper and brass and aluminum that we pull out of people's trucks and Cortland pulls out of the metal pile. And we have a buyer that comes in, he weighs it and pays us. That happens about 4 times a year. It's just extra money that we'd get practically nothing for if it went with the light iron. So that was over $500 item. I just got the report from Clean Harbors. They took 3,260 pounds of used paint. We have 4 containers in the big barn, and we collect paint from people. It's free. They can bring their paint. And we don't charge them because when you buy a gallon of paint, 75% of that cost goes to the state, and they pay for the used paint program. I got some new numbers. You've been down there. We always had 4 containers with the big numbers, 1 through 4. Well, we now have 5, 6, and 7. So when I called Triano, it was different with Herrick because they knew where everything was. But when I called Triano, I now say, haul the single sort compactor in section 5 or haul the demo in section 7. And it makes it a lot easier. So we're trying to, and it also helps with the people too. Now we tell them that's demo, go to bin 6. They still go exactly where they want to go. We tell them number 6, and we look up, and they're over to 2, and 2's got a barrier, so they're not supposed to put anything in it, but they're dumping, or they'll take their household waste to number 3, and that's where the landfill demo is, and there's nothing in there but pressure-treated wood, but they throw their household waste right on top of it. So I can guarantee that this town's growing. In 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, I gave out 19 permits. 3 of those were people that had permits but sold their vehicles and needed a new one. But the other 16 were all new people. They're either renting they come in with their rental agreement to prove, that they are Limerick residents, or they come in with their closing statements when they buy. It takes a long time when those people come in to explain everything to them. For the most part, 90% of them don't have a clue that they have door-to-door pickup. So that's the first thing we tell them. Then we give them a list of what we take there and how much it costs if they have it to dispose of. We tell them about bring all your good usable items to the take it shop. Put them on the right-hand side. Maggie Brulot is volunteering for us. She helps to go through it, make sure everything's safe, and then it goes into the take it shop, and the furniture goes into the big barn. And that's working beautifully. But the door-to-door pickup couldn't be working any, the compactor for the door-to-door could not be working any better. Howard's been told, you count 8 or 10 bags and push the button. Because with this compactor, if you build it up to the top so that you can see it, it jams every time. And then you've got a big steel rod, you've got to get in there and pound it down. So it's much easier. Howard, count 8 or 10, 12 bags, and push the button. Keeps it clear, keeps it going fast. I think that's enough for my regular. I've got a letter here. I'll give this to Brady. I only made 1 copy. I think you probably got a copy of this in your packet, but it has to be tended to. And on May 15th, the DEP came down and inspected the closed landfill. The landfill is about 3 acres in size and located off of Dulles Ridge Road. At the time of the inspection, the cover system was in very good condition, and the vegetation appeared to be thick and mostly consists of grass. But there are a few spots on the cover system where the mixture of grasses, legumes, and herbaceous plants. There are very few woody plants that are observed, but then they have a list of things that we need to do. And this has to be answered to the DEP. Along the access road that leads to the backside of the landfill, there's a stretch of pine trees. Some of these trees have taken root across the drainage ditch and may be growing inside the solid waste boundary of the closed landfill. Any trees present on the landfill side of the swale should be removed so as not to further damage the cover. So we need to have somebody that will take those trees down.
That'd be on the left side going up the road?
Yep.
Are there many?
It's along the access road that leads to the back side of the landfill. So it's on that side. During the inspection of the landfill, the department staff noticed an encampment in the woods, and I think Stan has alluded to that. The campsite appears to be a campsite that scrap is used for securing non-ferrous metal from the transfer station. The cover system did not show signs of damage because of these activities. But this is how they're getting in to steal the light iron that's through there. And I've already spoken, I think I spoke to, did I speak to you or Steve? Yeah, we've got to block that off because they're coming in through the Shire Road and coming in the back way to load up and take the metal. And they probably don't take that much out at a time, but it mounts up at the end of the year, especially when we get checks for $3,000 and $4,000, you know, every time we sell the metal.
You don't have any cameras or anything down there, do you?
No. Well, we had one, but they stole the brains. We've got the cameras, but they stole the brains. So they broke in and stole the brains. Lastly, there's a couple of truck bed sanders stored at the toe of the enclosed landfill. And it's advisable that they're not supposed to store any heavy machinery. It's supposed to be 125 feet away from the landfill. But these, I think they're all sanders, are lined right up, right on the edge of the cap, so those have to be moved. Once the above work is completed, please let me know so I can update our records. And
does it give you a time frame? Do we have a time frame?
It just says once the above work is completed, and this was dated July 1st, so it's about 3 weeks since we got this. And anything that I can do to help. They also...
Any money in your budget to cut the trees? Any money in your budget to cut the trees?
No.
We got no more tree money.
I know.
We're running out of tree money.
Well, you can take it out of the FEMA money.
Oh, that's true.
You can take it out of the FEMA money. Because I'm not going to get that back in my budget anyway and we'll go in the general fund.
It's in the general fund. Wow.
So I don't know why you can't use that. $12,000 came out of my budget last year.
In 2024, for FEMA, for those expenses. Any idea where she's holding that money now, in what account?
General fund.
Just put it in the general fund?
It went in the general fund. It was already deposited.
Well, you can put it in, but you can't just
Well,
you can't just deposit the money and say, well, we'll figure it out later. Of course you can't. That's what?
it's direct deposit.
You can put the money in there, but there has to be a journal entry for that deposit that says this money belongs to some sort of account.
You know, I got an email from that said that we were supposed to have a meeting so that the transfer station would get their amount designated and roads, and I don't know if the fire department was even involved.
Vinny had a little bit of it, but mostly it was yours and road commissioner.
Can we find out tomorrow
But
from
I
her?
understand from Ray that we were supposed to, before anything was done with it, we were supposed to have a meeting to figure out where.
Can you ask, you see Julie on a regular basis, can you ask her tomorrow how she accounted for that FEMA money when she deposited it? And I understand it's in the general account, I get that, but
It should have been split because we got an Excel sheet on it. Ray said exactly how it's supposed to be split for.
I'd be happy to
entries.
see
Wow.
a FEMA account somewhere, like something showing the money coming in and put somewhere, but you can't just. I understand that it's in the, but the general fund isn't, you call it the general fund. The general fund is the general checking account. But you have to have a transactional name for where, you can't just say deposit and it goes in the general fund. If it comes in for taxes, it comes in for tax revenue. If it comes in for transfer station fees, it goes in and it's noted transfer station fees. How was it noted and where was it? That's all I want to know. No.
Then you have an opportunity to credit their department.
We could do that, but at this point, if we can, to credit last year's probably doesn't help us any, but it could help us, as Joanne said, that it's now in 2025 without incurring more expense in the current budget to do that tree work perhaps.
There's other expense here too, is you gotta go over that whole cap and dig out all the legumes and all that stuff and fill in the holes and fertilize and seed it, and so there's gonna be other expense. And it's all there in black and white. To satisfy the DEP.
Can you work with somebody to get a price to do these things? Would you mind? I know it's not technically under your purview, but used to be.
Well, I do take care of the cap anyway.
Yeah.
And monitoring well.
Yeah, so I guess it is under your purview. So maybe we could get some pricing to do the seeding and what, and that.
Who does the mowing on the cap?
Mr. Maintenance Man,
Yeah,
he does, the one that does the ball fields, same one.
yeah, he does it once a year. They used to do it twice a year, but it wasn't necessary, I guess, so he does it once a year. Does a good job, it is in good shape.
Yeah.
And finally, I would like to have a vote tonight on whether or not I can get someone to help between now and October. I really would like to schedule, I have a family wedding that I've got to go to. I have 2 weeks in September that I have committed. And I need to train somebody in case one of us is sick, because it's
I make a motion,
about $5,000.
I make a motion to approve the application that was presented 2 weeks ago to us for a additional transfer station
Second.
employee.
Full-time?
It's not full-time.
Is this full-time?
21 and a half hours now, 18 and a half. Well, we won't even get into the 18 and a half. 21 and a half hours. It's around $5,000. And the budget,
It's already budgeted
there
for.
was 11,000 budgeted. And the budget committee approved it, the prior board approved it, and the people voted it. But I'm only asking for 5,000.
So how often are you gonna have 4 people there, Joanne?
Huh?
You're not gonna have 4 people there?
I have to train somebody first. That's gonna take at least 3 weeks. I mean, only 3 days a week.
I understand that, but you're not gonna have 4 people there all fall, are you?
No. What's is it October? What's the holiday in October?
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day, that's it.
Sorry, Indigenous Peoples' Day, guys.
Done that on Columbus Day. And sooner, if I feel I don't need it, Sooner.
With the money, I mean, you have the money approved, the budget, went through the budget, it was passed. Can you use some of that, even if it's some additional hours, to clean around the containers? Okay. All right. Down below? All right. Does that have to be done by hand? Is that the... No, is that the only way it can be done, is just by hand, just go down and somebody rakes it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, maybe.
Shovel it into the wheelbarrow, wheelbarrow wrap it.
Because we don't have the open top containers.
Yeah, and I thought this, yeah. I thought the nice part about getting the compactor for the household waste was the birds and stuff wouldn't be taking all the stuff out, so. All right, it must be a couple weeks since I've been down there. All right. Perfect.
My concern was, and we've already.
Joanne, can you just speak?
survived 4th of July weekend.
Joanne, can you just speak into the microphone? Sorry, some people are asking.
My concern was, and we already survived 4th of July weekend, was that we'd have long lines at the household. I didn't know if it was going to, and we made it with one load that week, and we've only had one load every week. So we save a load every week. Before we used to ship 2, and some weeks we shipped 3. So some weeks it cost us, several $100.
$150 a load, isn't it?
$205 is what was costing us a pole. Now it's $205 plus the additional $5 a ton at that little ditty that they add on. They got to get a little more and a little more.
Every little, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, there is a motion and a second on the table for hiring a new employee. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
One thing that ought to be addressed, I guess it's more for Rick than it is for you, and that's when you drive out of the transfer station, the line of sight, there's a bunch of bushes there that need to go.
Next on the agenda, I have Gail Libby. You're next, Lisa.
Good evening. Gail Libby, Revitalization Committee. Wendy wasn't able to make it this evening, so we had a meeting with our committee, and we had, I think, 3 questions. We'd like to merge the Building Committee and the Revitalization Committee into one committee. They think everybody voted for it. We think we can address some of the issues that the Building Advisory Committee had and advise you, do some research for you if needed. And so we'd like to know if we can do that. I don't think you've appointed a Building Advisory Committee this year. The second thing was we'd like to see if we can hire a grant writer with the $5,000 that's budgeted. We didn't do that last year because we knew there were a lot of numbers dancing. So that $5,000 was not spent last year, and another $5,000 was raised this year. So we'd like to know if we can proceed with that.
Do you think that account has 10,000 in it?
No.
Oh, only
it rolled
5.
back into the general
Okay, I was
fund
going to say. Yeah, I think
at
it
the
has
end of the
5.
year,
Okay.
and you raised another $5,000.
Okay, just want to make sure.
So this year we'd like to tackle that. We have some plans for storm windows, for instance, and we'd like to seek some grants and see if we can find something in that line for the Brick Town Hall. That's one thing we're looking at. but we'd like to know if we can do that contract for that. And the third thing was the Deepvale account, as it stands, has $171,000 in it, and we believe there's another 17 coming from the residual amount when the entries are done. And we'd like to take out either a short-term CD with that, a portion of that money, and get the 4% interest credited to that account, or I think it might be in an interest-bearing account, a checking account already. We're not sure, and we'd like to know if that interest could be apportioned out and a Deepvale credited with that. It's a capital project. It's state law that you should be doing this. So we're just wondering if you would, in one way or the other.
It's state law that if we have a capital account, the interest must go to that capital account? I guess we can ask the auditor that question, and if we're not meeting state law, we probably should, but otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it.
Otherwise, you'd what?
I wouldn't vote for it or recommend it.
Right.
Would not, but
Yeah,
if it's state law, then we have to.
I think it's been town habit to use it generally for general interest, and also to use capital account to run the town at times. So, it was always a difficult thing to do, I guess, but.
And from from what we've seen, our sweep account where we keep the money.
I don't know what that means.
Well, they put all your money. They pool a bunch of businesses and organizations' money together, and they keep very little money in our checking account.
Yeah.
And every night they'll take out or put in what we need to operate.
Yeah.
And the rest stays in what they call a sweep account.
Oh, that's nice of them. Okay.
And it actually gives pretty close interest as we're getting on the CDs, but
yeah.
But it's not individualized.
No, you would have to be apportioned by the treasurer and an entry made. Just saying. Or we can help with that. We wouldn't mind. Whatever. So can I have the CD you're going to check, the CD or interest you're going to check on with the auditor? The other two items?
Well, I don't think we need to check on what needs to be in this. Well, I guess.
You said you were going to check if it was a law or not.
I'll check with you whether it's a law or not, whether we have to keep it, the actual fund separate. And if we do we have to account for that interest and keep it in that account? So that will be the first question to be answered.
Yeah.
And if it is the case, then we'll have to figure out what we need to do. But unless we verify that.
Mm-hmm. And as far as merging those two committees?
I would not do that.
You would not do
you
what?
You have enough to do with dealing with the sewer projects and things like that. I think as far as the buildings are concerned, I think that should be left up to us.
Well, the Revitalization Committee has worked on that brick town hall for 15 years.
And I think I think that needs to be evaluated a lot closer.
I agree. I agree that it should be evaluated, and I think an architectural survey is, personally, an architectural survey is a requirement for that building.
Why?
Because it's on the historical register.
Well,
sorry, but it is.
I'm sorry, but I'm thinking we have to take a look at all these buildings.
Well, you're getting less and less buildings all the time.
What?
You're getting less and less buildings all the time.
Good.
You sold one a couple months ago.
Well, we still got other ones we have to deal with, and I think since we are responsible for it, I think we should be the ones making the decision, not the board.
We don't make decisions. We do research. We find money. Okay, we take the time to do that, and we do a lot of I don't stand here and tell you enough of what goes on behind the scenes to get $1 million into this town, or 500,000 or 750,000. We have done that. We found the money to pay for Hollandville. We did that, this committee, and it took hours and hours of volunteer work. And I don't say that enough, and we don't get credit enough for it.
Well, that's great
But we
that you
bring
do.
those decisions to this board every single time. We don't make decisions. We find the money. We
realize that.
advise you how to spend it,
What
and
I'm
boy,
saying-
it gets spent. And we don't.
We have physical buildings that we are responsible for as a board.
You're responsible for the whole town. I
Yes, I
understand
know
that.
that. So I think we ought to be looking and seeing what has to be done. I know I've been looking into things that have to be done in this building right here. And we've got other projects going.
You
And I
don't
think-
have a
I
capital
think-
plan, and you don't have any capital plan, Howard. You don't have any capital
have to be
plan
working on
for,
it, but we have to know what's going on.
well, that's why you get advisory committees to help, okay? And if you didn't have, if this revitalization committee hadn't been working for the last 10 years, you probably would be bulldozing it because it would be collapsing, okay? But we found the money. We found the specifications, we found the architects, we had the public hearings, we advised this board, and we advised a budget committee. Okay, you're going to do that? You all are going to do that with everything that's on your plate? Please, please. Why don't you want help?
Met this afternoon with engineers.
Good for you. So have I. So have we. We've met with architects and engineers for the last 10 years. Okay? We've done that. Have we done any disservice to this town because this committee has done this?
Nobody's accusing you of doing that.
Well, I don't know why you want to stop it.
I just don't think that there's enough expertise there, to be honest with you.
Really? Really?
That's my own personal opinion.
Really?
Take it for what it's worth.
Really?
I've been doing that building business a long time.
You report to the selectmen.
I report to the selectmen, and I've managed million-dollar projects in the real world, outside of municipalities. I have managed them successfully, over and over again.
We're managing these buildings, and I'm looking at the cost of them and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And your committee is not doing that. I'm looking at it from a dollars and cents standpoint of operating. So, the rest of the board
You're
can do what they
talking,
want.
you know,
I will vote against it.
tonight that
I don't know that it does us, I mean, the more people looking at it, I mean, nothing happens unless we vote for it, or whoever the board is here.
Correct.
So the more people looking at it, and I think everybody appreciates what that committee has done, but the flip side of that is, the townspeople, every time that committee comes looking for something, not the board, townspeople has always voted yes. Okay? You need $125,000 to match a grant. You need, I mean, the townspeople, I know your committee has put a lot of money, a lot of time and effort into the water and sewer projects. And the town, every taxpayer in the town, has committed a lot of money to those projects, and they don't benefit from the water and sewer. I know, in whole, I know the town benefits from water and sewer, but individually people don't. But the town has always stepped up and supported the requests coming from that committee. You know, you've come up with building recommendations that the board hasn't agreed with. And that's the way it works, right? Like,
that's right.
We're not going to agree with every one of them, and I don't know that it hurts us at all to have more people and have the committees put together and have them out there with eyes on it. I mean, they're citizens, it's their buildings, nothing happens with their say-so. It just comes with recommendations. I mean, it's not saying, many times I've disagreed with the recommendations, but that doesn't mean I want to stop and say, hey, because I don't like your recommendations today, doesn't mean I'm not going to like them tomorrow. Or you're going to come up with something we don't know about. So I don't see any problem with it myself.
With combining the committees?
Yeah.
A lot of the same people are on
The
both
same
committees.
people, I was going to say, are on both of them. I know.
Like, right, the revitalization.
Yes, that was another issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but even the new committee members that are on this now said yes. They didn't see any problem with that. And as far as us being busy with the water and sewer, understand we have built a machine, okay? And it's working.
Fine.
And it doesn't take, the work is all up front on the water and sewer for us. And then when you have your engineers in place and you have your contracts in place with your construction people, they take over. And the select board has to attend those meetings. But you have signed the contracts, you have reviewed the RFPs, you have reviewed our advice, okay, as to how we made our recommendation. And we use that process over and over again. And it has worked well. And we were given $1.6 million from the appropriations that was taken away from that with our new administration, okay? Well, we would have done most of Central Avenue. All right.
That's great for water and sewer. But
Well-
I'm just saying for the buildings that we have,
If we can do $1 million projects for water and sewer, what do you think we can do about a mousetrap to clean up or clean out a cellar? Do you think we can handle that, Howard? Because that's some of the types of advice.
the question is it's a job to do that.
It's a
And I
revitalization
don't
committee.
think so.
It's a revitalization committee. Revitalization committee. Look at Main Street. Look at Main Street before we put that infrastructure in place. Okay, what happened when that went in place? We forecasted what would happen, okay, and it did. Everybody was painting their buildings. They were improving the facades. They did that once they knew that we cared enough to fix what was in the ground. And we strategized that, frankly.
That's great, but it's always been water and sewer.
Well, we took a
Yeah.
year off because it was kind of busy last year. Okay, we took a year off and we worked on small projects for the Scout Hall, and we finished most of them at very low cost because people in this room and outside made it happen by doing very low cost things, putting a door in, putting some mouse traps in. We're hoping for a heat pump being put in and fixing the lights in the ceiling, okay? We've advocated for all of those things. Are you disagreeing with that? Are you disagreeing that we should stop the mice from eating the ceiling?
I'm just saying that if we are dealing with these buildings,
Yeah.
looking at costs and everything else, I think we should be making the decisions on it.
I thought you did make decisions. I thought you did. I think
Water, sewer, go for it.
Well, we try
But
to
you can't control everything, Gail.
I'm not. We're asking to find some money to spend so you can spend less and get more done.
Yeah.
Earlier you asked us to spend some of the grant money.
Yeah.
Is it solely for, what grant, I mean, is there anything other than storm windows for the brick town hall? Or is that
There's many foundations, okay? Just depends on what you want to prioritize, and we go looking and seeking and making, you have to review every grant. They have different stipulations as to what they will pay for, okay?
And I know we have we only budget $5,000, it's for the whole town.
Yeah.
Should we, and only those that are vocal enough to ask tend to get it, but maybe the rec department can look for a grant. Maybe Vinnie could use some of that to get, I guess, we tend to give it to John Cleveland, and he's done very well for us.
Nobody asked for it
But
last
nobody
year.
asked.
Nobody asked for it last year.
It doesn't
We're
get spent.
asking for it
Yeah.
this year.
I get it. I guess I would
And
just...
we're 6 months almost 7 months into the year, and nobody has asked for it. It takes work to do these grant applications. It's not just what the grant writer does. There's a lot of work that we feed to the grant writer. Okay? I feed a lot of information to the grant writer for water and sewer because I do the research.
Gail, I understand how much work it takes to get money into here, because I worked on getting $1.8 million into here just for that building up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that administering that, Vinny and I spent hours a week on that.
Right.
We kept meticulous records. I got grants for the fire department before, and you fill out reams of paperwork.
Mm-hmm. But we don't stand here and tell people enough, I guess. That's what we do. We just come here and say, well, we'd like to do this, and if we can do that, and we don't tell you how many hours that we're volunteering. If you want us to stop that, your water and sewer district's going to stop doing what they do, unless they find somebody to do it.
Was I against the water and sewer district?
No,
I
but
said
you're against grant writing.
No, I'm not.
Well, then,
No, I am
help
if
me
it's
out.
I am if it's going to cost the taxpayers this town money.
It's going to cost a matching amount of some percentage.
I wish we'd take a look at what buildings we're spending on. There has been nothing done to this building.
Why don't you work on this building, Howard? There's plenty to do because the floor's caving in
We
that
have to
room.
take things one at a time here.
No, you don't. This is a town, not a single path that works on one building at a time because the five of you. You have resources. You have volunteers. You have people that can advise you in many, many avenues. And I don't think you do it enough. It's not just buildings.
I think there's a fair amount of construction experience, Gail. You're not the only one that's been in charge of $1 million projects
I'm not
either.
saying that. I'm saying you get a lot of. I'm thrilled the two of. I call you the bookends.
Gail, my background is all in construction.
Well, fine. We asked you to be on our committee, and you didn't want to be.
Well, there's some problems there. I wouldn't have any part of it.
Okay.
You notice I didn't even sign that last
Yes, I
proposal
noticed.
you had.
I noticed after we worked on it for a year. Yes, I noticed that, Howard.
Everything I
But you
put in
didn't-
there, everything I put in there for recommendations, they said no.
I was only
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
There was
backtrack.
6 or 7 people on that committee, mostly.
Yeah, it was only done by a couple of people.
Right.
I'm not going to say any more.
Are you joining
you're
committees?
asking for the revitalization committee
Yes,
and the building advisory committee
to be
to
combined.
be turned into one.
One committee, revitalization.
Just going to call it revitalization.
Yes.
We started the building advisory committee. You guys started.
We
that.
asked for it to be
We
started.
asked for those people to
Yeah.
do that, so.
I guess you could argue that revitalization is almost anything,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes,
Those traps,
yes,
water
it
and
is.
sewer projects. I'm just thinking if it's called the revitalization committee,
It's called the revitalization.
and you come
committee.
back and,
Because we didn't want to do water and sewer. This lady right here talked us into it after advocating for it for 3 years. And we finally said, she's not going to stop. We got to help her out. We didn't want to do it. We had no expertise. Well, now we have a lot of expertise in how you deal with federal money. We learned the hard
We
way.
were bent on revitalizing Main Street because Main Street went downhill after we lost the bank. That was the anchor of Main Street. Once the bank left, and we just made up our mind we were going to revitalize Main Street. And
She made up her mind.
Coming down there and seeing, and it's real nice to see the signs that we just have put out. That it's a historic district. You know, we're lucky, we have a Main Street. Most towns don't. So that's why we called it that right from the beginning.
I make a motion we merge the revitalization and building advisory committee into one.
Second. Any discussion?
All I can say is, I mean, I know that they came, the Building Advisory Committee came to us with a very large proposal on every building, and they didn't, I mean, they put a lot of time into it, and they didn't get everything they wanted, and maybe probably didn't get much of anything that was in there, as I can remember, but they didn't say, I'm taking my ball and going home because my ideas didn't get put in. So,
And at the end
you
of the
know,
day,
those, that's the way it works, right? You work in these committees and you get a consensus, and that's what you put forward, and that consensus comes to us, and we may like it or not like it, but like I said, you're not turning around sulking because you didn't get it done. You went on other stuff. So I think they've done good things. In the end, the buck stops here. They don't have the power or the authority to do anything they recommend. So I don't see how it hurts us.
I just would say stay separate. I don't debate what they've done, but I think the ball has been dropped by this board because they haven't kept up with the building maintenance in a lot of areas. I really do.
once again, I mean, I don't, they don't make any decision. It comes to us. They give recommendations. It ends on our table. We decide to make them. We don't have to follow them. We don't have to go with them. But I mean,
has this board, the prior boards, have they haven't done much. They've gone with the water and soil. The buildings are in.
I know. I mean, maybe I took on too much when joining the select board, but I have a life outside of here.
This building needs exterior work. Yeah. We started to set up an account. I mean, we could go around town and spend $2 million tomorrow, right? If you want to fix everything he's done, but that makes no sense. You have to slowly put it away to do it. So we tried this building. We said we're going to put away $25,000 for paving. It got voted yes. $20,000 for painting. Mm-hmm. It got voted yes. Mm-hmm. Went back the second year with the same thing. Mm-hmm. The paving got voted in. The people voted. The people, not this board, the people voted not to put $20,000 aside additional to paint this building. So how do we combat that? I mean, you try to do stuff, and it's, there's so many opinions, and some people don't want to spend $1 on anything, and some of those people that don't want to spend $1 on anything, if they've got a pet project, now they're okay with, maybe spending, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on a project if they like it, but, where does it go? We can only do what the people will fund and the people approve, and you can only go so far. So
I think we could get some grants for this building. I understand the town hall. We're stuck with that building. That's a historical building. It is what it is.
You're not stuck with it. I mean, you could sell it tomorrow for $1.
No, you can't sell it. That's not right.
But you're talking about a community, okay, that is growing, all right, and there is community space there being underutilized that can be utilized, and it's not.
What are we going to do, spend $1 million so they can utilize the second floor to put an elevator on it?
I don't know that.
I'm sorry, Gail. That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know that.
We asked the town for some money to look at the fire station, to evaluate it. They said no. The people voted no. So what we can't now turn around and say, well, we think they're wrong. Let's spend some money to evaluate the building.
Why can't we look at it? You've got
we being who?
Huh?
We being who?
Why can't the board look at it? You don't think there's enough construction?
I'm already looking at the stuff to have this building redone on the outside.
Not this one. We're talking about the old fire station.
The 1968 fire station.
Roma things.
Yeah. No, there's always stuff we've done, but the problem is, we can look at little stuff. We're in the vault. There's a couple little things to do. We can do them. You said, you go get the stuff, I'll do it, right? You've been out back. You've been doing little stuff. And everybody's putting in time and doing stuff. It's the big things that we need the big money for that, quite frankly, in recent history, the people have said no. So we've got a fire station building sitting up there. So let's look at it. We can go in and look at it, and then we ought to do something, because that building could potentially be the savior for a big meeting space. I don't know that. Some people say rip it down.
It's pretty
Some
nice.
people say use it for public works.
And there was, some people say public works.
Yes.
And there was just as many people that said, don't build that fire station across the street because it's going to fall in a hole, right? Well, we built the fire station. Let's hope it doesn't fall in a hole. But there were people that said the fire station's going to fall if you build it there. We built it there and they figured it out. So just because one person looks at the old fire station and says, nah, it doesn't look very good. I mean,
Go up and crawl around in it, see what's wrong with it inside. You tell me.
Spend a night there. Wake up and breathe the next day. Tell me if it's good.
It's full of mold and everything else. You want it for Public Works Department. You couldn't put fire trucks in there. How are you going to put dump trucks in there?
no, I don't. I'm
You
not
start
saying-
looking at three.
I'm not saying that's the answer.
Again, you're not hearing the whole story, but there are people that, on this committee, that feel that way and have a valid plan they'd like to have the opportunity to present to you. And it doesn't include dump trucks. It does not
But you start
include dump
looking at
trucks.
$300 a square foot to fix that building up, you're looking at $1 million.
Well, then, maybe that person that said tear it down and make some parking is valid. You've got to put these things in a row, look at them, present them, talk about them, and then put some kind of vote forward, whatever. That's the process. That's democracy. Sorry, that's the way it is. I'm glad it can be part of it. Anyway, so...
Speaking of democracy, let's finish this vote.
Yes, let's...
All those in favor of merging the two? Opposed? All right, it passes. The two are merged.
So we're merged. Okay. And as far as, may we proceed with writing some grants for things with this money?
I think if it's in the budget,
Well, we have $5,000 budget for grants, but I guess from my point, I would say come back with a proposal on what the grant is for and how much you think it'll cost. I don't want to just say, you got $5,000, go spend it.
Okay,
I'd like to see you come back and
in that process, we use the knowledge of a grant writer that costs money.
I don't mind spending money on a grant writer.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want to say is, your new committee that we just presented, here's $5,000, go spend it.
No,
What
I'm
I'd
not-
like to see you come back and say, we spoke to the grant writer,
Yeah.
and for $1,200, he'll write us a grant, or for whatever, a budget, he'll write us a grant if we think that storm windows for the brick town hall is a worthwhile project, okay? I would have to see some really convincing good evidence before I agree to spend $1,200 even for the grant writer, even if it got us the storm windows for free. But that's just my one opinion. But I just don't want to arbitrarily say, I don't think we should say, spend the $5,000.
No,
So-
I just,
Yeah.
we're not saying that either, but we're saying it's sitting there, we want to hire a grant writer, we know it's at least $65 an hour. You want an estimate on what it would take
I
to
would want- I think
write
we
that
wanna know-
grant.
Just as we said, we have the kind of the final vote on it, so what grant is he writing and how much is it going to cost?
Yeah, okay, that's no problem.
And
What's
then
the
we-
grant going to benefit?
And what's it going to benefit? Yeah, what's the grant for?
Yeah, yeah.
What does he think the projected cost to write it is? And if we get it, what is the projected match? Because there's no use writing a grant for $1 million if you got to match another $1 million if we don't have it.
No,
So,
we're talking storm windows on.
no, I know.
on windows.
That's one thing. But I don't want to blow the whole $5,000 on a grant for storm windows. If that's what it costs.
I don't
then
think it would cost that much.
all we do is find that out. And then maybe somebody from the rec department may come in and say, I want $1,000 trying to get a grant to refurbish
And they're
the
going to
building.
have to do the same
They'll
thing
do
you're
the same
asking
thing.
us to do,
Yes.
correct?
We haven't given anybody just carte blanche to move forward.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Lisa LePage.
Evening. Give an update on the town's 250th birthday, 50-year time capsule reveal. I want to announce that the envelopes for the next 50 years are now available outside of this room, and the bucket to return them, sealed, is also there, and at the fire department. They have the envelopes with a bucket for them to be placed in. Our goal is to pick up the envelopes September 30th. Now, if you come if you come October 1st, I'm not going to deny it. But we're asking because we have Peter Maha from Founding Farmers has offered to take the envelopes and vacuum seal them all to help preserve them, to save them, less damage. On each of the envelopes, it tells you your do's and your don'ts, what you can include or what you should include. We don't want food in these envelopes. So that's what we're doing. I want to take, and I'll be announcing it at the parade, I want to thank Jen, Carroll, and I don't know her married name, Burnham. Harriman. She has spent hours and hours and hours of taking hundreds of pictures of our town, taking pictures that people have given her from our history of our town, and she's creating the calendar, guys. I'm talking Sunday, I was talking to Anne Marie, they each spent over 9 hours apiece just trying to pull things together. This is a community event that people are coming in to help each other to do it. We would like kids with bikes to decorate them for the birthday theme. We have the rodeo coming on, the bike rodeo from the Maine Coalition coming, and we have Love Your Brain coming. The Bike Coalition contacted with me with Brad from Love Your Brain. He lost his son to a head injury from not wearing a helmet. They are coming with bike helmets for these children, with markers and stickers to decorate them. So it is state law, kids have to have bike helmets to be on the road. It's coming, we've got the program almost done, we've got it mapped out. We're meeting every Thursday now at 6 o'clock at the fire station just to finalize. We're just over 2.5 weeks away from this event. It's huge. So, any questions?
I see none.
And you guys are all very much welcome. Oh, and we need volunteers for the dunk tank.
I will say I tried to volunteer for a dunk tank at one of my last jobs and I was over the weight limit, so I'm out.
Oh, I don't know if there's weight limit.
Gotta check.
I wasn't told.
That's the one good advantage. Wade, it looks like it's you. Alicia. Ricky.
Yes.
Do you have something? I keep getting whispered in my ear your name, so I don't know. You do have something.
For the an update on the turnaround.
Oh, look at that! Whoa. You know how to print? You know how to print?
Ricky Richardson, Road Commissioner. I went around and checked a bunch of the new turnarounds since the last time I plowed snow. Some of the turnarounds are on town property and some of them are private driveways. As you can see, I tried to give a brief description of some of them. Like on Prospect Street, you go to the end and number 24, we always back into that driveway. It used to be the Plant residence, Norm Plant, and nothing's changed down there. We still back into their driveway and turn around. Huh?
They always have.
Always have. There's a lot of new ones on here like Coffin Hill Road, Sawyer's Mountain Road is still a town turnaround. As the town grows, there's probably going to be more turnarounds added to this list. But this is what we got so far. I added a few on here because Carroll Lane wasn't on there, and Francis Drive and Henry Lane wasn't on there. Carroll Lane has a giant, not a giant, but a good-sized turnaround at the end. It's all paved. And Francis Drive and Henry Lane, we still use driveways down there to turn around in. And luckily, we've got a lot of nice residents in this town that still provide us and let us use their driveways, and have been for a long time, many, many years, so. Just wanted to share that with you.
So do they know, I mean, most of these are old time, been there forever.
Yep. They have been.
But Town Farm Road, couldn't even tell you where it is.
It's off of the Cram Road. It used to be Perry, when we plowed, it was Perry Corner Road. Now it's the Cram Road.
Great, didn't do me any good, but that's fine. That's fine.
You remember that, don't you, Howard? That was used to be Perry Corner Road.
We turn around in Victor's driveway on the right.
It's Victor's driveway. That's the residence.
And that's great.
We've always turned around there.
Someday Victor may not live there.
We'll have to update that when Victor's not here.
It might be Bill's driveway.
I guess if I bought a home or I moved in and I saw the town truck turn around my driveway,
yep.
I might question it. I don't know. It might be a little. I just think should we have an agreement with these people? Should there be something in writing that says you're authorized to turn around in my driveway? I don't know. Is it? I mean, forever it's been a handshake and go, right? But
a lot of times we used to plow that driveway for them, and that was like, you know,
sure.
One hand washes the other here.
Yeah.
They always been pretty awesome about that.
So I just wonder if as we move forward, and it's nice to see that clearly all the newer roads it's being required that a hammerhead or a turnaround be put in, but where there's 10 or 12 at least that we are backing into somebody's driveway, somebody might not be as friendly is all I'm saying. And then what do you do?
As Victor?
Victor probably seems like a very nice guy.
We plowed that back in the 80s and Victor was there.
Is he still there?
He's gone.
From time to, I think he's
Gone.
He passed away?
Yep.
So it's not
So
Victor's
it's not even
driveway.
Victor's driveway anymore.
I don't know
Who
else it
updated
is.
this
It's still
list?
Victor's house.
Who came up with this list?
I did.
It's like
Victor's Air driveway.
It's like the Wynn Griffith Road. They put a trailer in there, we paced it off, measured it off 550 feet, and they've got a huge driveway, and when we overlay the road with gravel, we're going to do the driveway too, and they're all in agreement, so we're pretty fortunate that everybody's on board.
And I think as long as people are on board and it's great, I just think it might be, I'm guessing that maybe it doesn't even need to be addressed because nobody's complaining, right? If nobody's calling and saying, hey, why is the truck turning around in my yard?
I think they're pretty happy to see the truck turn around their driveway. They say, yeah, that's all right, we can get out. Everything's good.
So I guess that's great to know where they all are. We have them. This might be a good addendum to put in the plow contract.
Just to kind of keep everybody familiar with what's
So
going
when we go
on.
out to bid next year, people know what we're doing, where we turn around, and there's, shouldn't be a question on where it is. But yeah, I think this will help a lot.
There's a few sketchy ones. That's why they use pickup trucks and one tons to do some of these little roads because the turnarounds are really tight. But so far it's working. Like Clark's Bridge Road. I mean, it's Dave Coleman's driveway. It's been Dave Coleman's driveway forever. We used to turn around there, they'd say, 3 o'clock in the morning, I see this strobe light in my window. It's like, well,
The road's
one of us.
Yeah, the road's been
Alan's
plowed.
driveway's been plowed
That's
for
right.
as long as I can remember.
Which one?
Alan Chamberlain's. Yeah, you drive up right by his doorstep and spin around and come back. No, really.
Oh, I know.
Dogs in the window barking at you.
There's another one that's like that.
That's it. Any
Okay.
questions on the turnarounds?
Question, do you know, DeBorgia Road, is that a town road or is that a private?
I believe it's a town road. Yeah, because it used to go all the way through to the back Newfield Road.
Was it accepted,
No.
was it accepted as a town road? I don't know, I can't
I
remember.
believe so, because we updated it.
Well, I remember
What
them
road?
putting a lot of money into it, but
It's off of Route 160 on the left, right after Nichols
I just didn't know if we
corner
ever
there.
had anything in writing on that, that's all.
Heading towards the middle road.
Just wanted to kind of
The
accept
old
it.
middle road?
Oh, you say DeBoge Road?
DeBoja, yeah.
Just Mark's old place.
Before, by Mark's, before Victor's,
That's right. It's
All right.
before Victor's and after
Okay.
Mark's.
But after Mark's.
Okay.
That's right, off of Route
Between
160.
You know where that big tree is?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Right there. I grew up in Old Orchard Beach, so it was very different.
Yeah. Allen's driveway's not in Old Orchard Beach, so.
Neither is Victor's.
No, Victor's isn't either.
All right.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Well, that concludes department reports. Should we skip ahead? Thank you. All right, we're just going to go through these real quick. Review of legal accounts, there's none. Review of policies.
What's in red is what we're proposing to take out.
All right, so personnel policy, review the changes. In red is what we propose to take out. 5, EPL does not entitle any employee who is eligible to accrue, who is
It was
not
anything that had to do with the sick time. We don't have sick time now. We only have
Okay.
EPL and vacation. Only hourly earned EPL time. So the problem was this was contradicting.
I think that was based on a policy taken out of a policy.
Yeah.
A sick leave policy from somewhere else is what it looks like to me. If you look down through when it says written documentation may not be required unless over 3 consecutive days, that's directly out of most sick leave policies from companies, so we don't have a sick leave
Contradict, 'cause it says
policy.
it right, yeah, and it says it right above, basically. You can request a note or other documentation.
Is there a motion for these changes?
I make a motion, we change the personnel policy to reflect these items in red to be removed.
Second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? All right. Next, we have the Limerick, Maine Bricktown Hall accessibility policy. We amended this on July 7th. We just need to sign that after the meeting.
Yes.
It's already been voted, approved.
You probably just need to vote on the changes. I don't think we voted on
I was
it.
not here, so I do not
know,
know
I
what the
don't
changes
remember.
were.
The Bricktown Hall accessibility policy,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the change was.
we did vote on it.
Yeah, did we vote? Oh, yeah, we did vote. Never mind.
We did vote on it.
That's right. That's why I have it
Yeah.
signed, yes.
Um,
And the admin one, we voted, we've voted. I brought it last time to sign, and I didn't.
you know, the chairman probably took it and put it in his car, and
So
It
I
got
just
filed
need,
away.
I just need signatures on that.
or the vice chair. All right. Next, was there any update from the municipal parking lot paving?
Yes.
Good updates?
We got 2 responses from 2 companies, 2 good responses, actually. We did oral interviews tonight. They, like I said, they were both two good scenarios, but I think we've concluded that Sebago Techniques came out with the best one that fits what we have to do. Their plan was more flexible. Both firms agreed we need a survey and we need a conceptual plan. So the first thing to do would really be to do the survey. And as they're working on that, they can do a conceptual plan. So Sebago Techniques wants $6,500 for a survey and $3,000 for a conceptual plan.
I'm in the wrong line of work.
Huh?
I'm in the wrong line of work.
I make a motion, we approve the $3,000 for the conceptual site plan for Sebago Techniques as proposed for the rehab of the driveways and parking areas at the Limerick Municipal Building.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So that, we have money set aside for this project already, so it would come out of that. The second step definitely would be the survey and take care of all that. I think we should have a survey at some point anyways, but I'd rather see the conceptual plan that they said they could do without doing the survey for now, and see what we get for feedback and consensus. It may be just that it's one of these things that is going in so many directions we can't get a good consensus, but so I don't want to spend the $6,500 until we actually see what they're proposing. But I think that would be right behind it.
Huh?
All right.
I don't care. If you don't think we should have the town property surveyed, I know that was a bone of contention.
Well, what they showed us, if they can do that aerial conception of everything, they're going to come to so many, it's not exact, but once they go and survey, then they can make adjustments. But we're talking just feet.
Yeah, and I don't think, even he said he didn't expect that anything would be affected by the boundary lines as near as they can tell them for right now, unless they find some dramatic
Only
difference.
when you get to plotting like this building
Yes.
and things
Yeah,
like
and I
that.
think once we see the conceptual idea, I'm all for doing the survey so we know what we have and,
That's fine.
and know what's there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just do one thing at a time.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor? And I am opposed.
You opposed? Brady, you opposed?
Opposed. Yep.
Can we have Alicia notify Sebago Techniques
Yeah.
that they've been selected to do that, and notify the other firm that we appreciate their input? We've selected another firm that we think meets our needs a little better than they proposed.
Can you start a file for this project, please?
Yeah.
And notify the treasurer by email and in writing from all of us that there is funds for this project and
Coming out of the,
it's coming out of the paving.
Okay.
And that's when the first bill comes in, that's where it needs to be paid out of.
Anything on the overlook?
Nothing new.
Howard, do you want to go over the purchase order policy?
For the sake of time, if you guys want to read that over and then we deal with it next time, it's a procedure. We've already basically adopted the purchase order.
We have a purchase order policy.
Right, and all this is just how to do it. You know, to
Is
collect.
this in line with the policy we have?
Yes.
Okay. I assume it's going to work fine. I think what we should do is make, once we approve it, make an addendum to the policy
Yes.
so it stays right behind it.
I mean, if you want to vote on it tonight, it's up to you guys. It's, I'll have to, once it's approved, I've got to go to the department heads and make sure everybody's on the same level here, so they know what's going on.
Can you put draft across this and send it out to the department heads? Because they're the ones doing it, have them look at it before we approve it next week?
That's fine.
Is that all right?
Next, CDBG paperwork, sign and approve agreement with John Cleveland's company. This is the agreement between Community Dynamics and the town of Limerick for the implementation of the deep veil water and sewer line replacement. It looks like it just needs my signature.
Alicia, excuse me, I'll send you the draft on it.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is Community Dynamics is an independent contractor. He's just the grant writer for the
It's
money that
John.
we've
It's
received.
John.
It's John
We
Cleveland.
just, it's our contract with him that you guys have to approve and sign.
All right, so is there a motion on that?
Make a motion, we approve the agreement with John Cleveland for the CDBG paperwork for the Holland, Deep Valley project.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, I just need to sign that. Special town meeting. Alicia, you have anything on that one?
Well, I gave you kind of a draft that I started. So you'll see with that, you have, for the tree money, there's 3 accounts that I wrote down for you for amounts that you could look at. Julie's setting up a special reserve account. I just need those numbers from her, and now you want to add onto this.
She said have a special reserve account for
what?
The antique fire truck.
Oh, I think meant for the tree work.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Okay.
No.
So can we back up to the tree work?
Look,
Sorry.
are you looking at the one I
I
gave
thought we
you?
were talking about tree work.
We are, I just have a draft. Are you looking at the draft that I made? Those are the accounts, but you have a draft of the special town meeting. That, and then there's a draft too of the questions.
Shall the town vote to transfer blank from the public places, buildings, and grounds account?
So it's not that, so
Yeah.
we want, these are the 3 that we have. So you also have the bids you need to relook at. Brady has them, the 3 that we had. I think the cheapest one is, don't quote me, I believe it was 17 something.
When do we need these numbers by?
Well, you want to have this on September 2nd. So we need to,
Get it to the budget committee.
Yep, so the budget committee, we were going to do a joint meeting on the 18th, but that is not going to work for the budget committee now because they can only have 2 people here. So they talked about meeting the week before. I told them we were meeting tonight on this. I was hoping to have more of a concrete warrant. Because we don't meet we meet on the 4th, so we really need to have it concrete then. So they can have a date, or they can make a date for recommendations.
You had the bids in here, didn't you?
Brady has them. Wade's looking at them, sorry.
all right.
I didn't copy all of those because there was a lot
Would it
to
make
it.
sense that we pick one so we know what the dollar amount is?
Yeah,
And
Yep.
then
yeah, and then we can figure out
sit down
where,
and figure out
yes,
how much we need to move for each account to make it work.
yes. I
So
think question number 2 is, I don't know if it needs any tweaking. Once Julie gives me that account number that she's set up, that one may be okay. Now you want to add the moratorium question too.
Well, this Article 2 isn't finished. It doesn't say
Yeah,
we're
no,
gonna transfer
that's,
it to.
yeah, no, yeah, it's all a draft right now.
So,
The one on the top, I believe, was the lowest bid. No, sorry, I lied. The middle,
the trips was less,
I believe so, that's, yes.
12, and you've spoken to both of these,
I've spoken to both.
and they both are still gonna honor their price?
They both will honor it, yes. The highest one did not respond to my email, but maybe because they knew they were a lot higher than the other two.
It's 17 versus
I think one was 28.
27
Yeah.
and change. That's a pretty big difference. So I make a motion to award the tree cutting for Tibbetts Park and the municipal building to Trips Tree Service based on their quote, pending approval of the funds being transferred at a special town meeting.
I will second that.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor? All right. And we'll just get that the numbers to make sure.
Yeah, when you're, well, come on, if you don't mind, I mean, I don't mind helping.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, these are the accounts. You're welcome to look if there's another one that I may have missed that you might be able to use, but these were the three that I feel.
Where they can come from.
So municipal building grounds is the first one, public places, and then
Brick Town Hall.
Town Hall building grounds.
Yep, okay.
So
There's no grounds up there. All right.
Are we gonna meet here or at the fire station? Isn't that gonna be the one that has the moratorium questions and everything else?
When we scheduled this, we agreed to do it at the fire station.
Well, it says here in municipal building.
yeah, this one we didn't talk about having at the fire station. We talked about having the public hearing for the November ballot at the fire station.
No,
I got a copy of this.
we're talking about the moratorium?
The moratorium's coming up in September, correct?
Yeah.
Wait,
That's gonna
Well,
be
you
at
just
the
added
fire
that
station.
tonight, so that wasn't on this originally.
that has
So
to be at
now-
the fire station. That could be a pretty big meeting. If
Yeah.
it isn't, fine, but
This shouldn't be down here.
I mean, yeah, if we're gonna agree to do them up there, let's get them up there and let's get them ready.
That's fine, that was
Yep.
not, that
get them up there and
Wasn't
notify
what we
Saco
had
River to...
Someone's gotta notify Saco River and tell them we need all their remote equipment for September 2nd. And try to get an idea how much it's gonna cost.
It's gonna be a fun meeting.
there are tables and, is there chairs at the fire station?
Yes.
No, thank you.
Someone should also notify the fire chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The tax anticipation note update. Is there any update on that, John?
John, did you have another one that you wanted to add to this, or no? Did we talk about something
No.
else? Okay, perfect, thank you.
Apparently, the treasurer has worked through the tax anticipation note with the old documents that were filed, and the bank is okay with it, and my understanding is she drew on it today.
Oh. Cool.
And someone was in contact with Alyssa Tibbetts because Alyssa Tibbetts gave me the information. So I don't know how, when, where, I don't know. We didn't sign anything, so I'm not sure how, unless the tax anticipation note might have only needed her and the town clerk, and perhaps between the two of them.
But did we need to draw on
That's a question for you, I don't know.
I can check the bank account. See.
Well, the last we knew, there was over $1 million in the bank account. I don't know, the warrants this week were not that big, so I don't know why she would have drawn on the tax anticipation note. I'm only hearing that, I didn't hear that firsthand from what she told you she drew on the tax.
She told me when
She told you she drew on the tax anticipation note. So I don't know how much she drew or why she drew it. But maybe you could get that as your second question tomorrow, Howard?
Already doing it here.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Can that come off now, or do you want me to leave that on?
Tax anticipation note?
Yeah.
Take it off, it's in the process of being used.
I feel like there was something that, I mean, I know I've had to sign a lot of documents for that, but there was something that I signed like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago for the tax anticipation note.
We did.
Okay.
We signed it all.
Okay.
But then the attorney said she needed more documentation.
And the bank said no.
And the bank was
said,
gonna do a closing, and yeah.
We'd like to get the interest, stop taking that money.
All right. I sound really,
She's taking the money.
I feel really stupid asking this next question, but FMLA reporting, Why is
So-
my name next to that?
You were going to check with our treasurer because this is a reporting that we're supposed to do on a monthly basis. And MRI, we have the payments taken out. And I'm happy to check with MRI if you want on this myself and see if they're doing it, if it's being taken care of, or Julie. Because I know she was going to check with MRI, but this is a big no-no if we are not doing it. This
Yeah.
can get us into a lot of trouble.
Bernie and I were up here one day, and I think we both asked her, I might have asked her about it, and she said that she was going to check with MRI to see.
I just haven't heard.
I have tomorrow
any
off. I'll make an appearance tomorrow.
Or just an email. I
Yeah.
want to
make
make
an
sure when
appearance.
we're doing it.
Maybe
Okay.
at the same time, we can talk to her about getting everybody set with their vacation time, sick time. I mean, none of that's being tracked well or correctly. I mean,
That is
everybody I talked to
That is not MRI's job. I did ask them that.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with vacation, EPL time.
Okay, so we need to get a list. Well, she needs to somehow we got to figure out where people are at. So, however she's tracking it, we should get a list. The list should go to the department heads. The department heads should speak to their employees and say, "This is what the town has," because all we hear every time somebody gets a paycheck is, "Hey, I didn't know I had 3 more weeks of vacation left, and when do I go?" Or, "I didn't know I had..."
I've been at 3 hours for a year.
Or I'm short, like,
Yeah,
"Hey, I should
right.
have
Just don't
way more," or, right? So, you get one, right, and it doesn't really jive,
Yeah,
right?
mine has not changed, and I feel like months. I've been at 3.86 hours.
So,
I'm going big places.
That's all you need.
I mean,
You're all set.
so that really is the second piece that ought to be
the
started to
first
be
thing?
tabulated somewhere.
All right, FMLA, PTO, TAN. I'm just writing a note to text Alicia to follow up. Just kidding. All
It
right.
might be easier too, like if people, like I have my pay stub from the last one of the year. If they have that, because I can see what should have gone with me that didn't, and then from that point. So if people, that might be the easiest thing for her to go off of to start. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of work at this point to go back and look.
All right, next is cemetery entrance, keeping on to monitor if state fixes. So we're just going to monitor, see if the state fixes
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I don't know how long you guys want to monitor that.
Waiting for the state, all hell's gonna freeze
Yeah,
over
we'll be-
before that happens.
Hey,
Go through a lot of paper between now and then. I would take it off and just, I mean, that's been there forever. I mean, that's something that'll never go away.
Well, we just added a couple weeks ago.
I know.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, whichever.
Wasn't somebody supposed to call on that?
Ricky checked on that with the state. We also voted to take money out of the cemetery account. Did you say there was money in the cemetery account that if the state didn't fix it? I believe we're going to have Ricky fix it sometime between 2 and 3 in the morning when he's not busy.
How much will it take to fix it?
Is it a culvert or is it just where it's washed away from the dirt and the pavement?
He said the culvert just has to be cleaned out, some coal patch or hot top put on top to hold the dirt there. But you're gonna have to put some either coal patch or asphalt on it. The dirt's pretty well. I think Jerry's put a lot of dirt in there from time to time.
all right, so we'll take that off. November ballot items, public hearing, discussion date.
So I had asked we talked about having a public hearing before the warrant was due to the town clerk. Town clerk does not advise that. She said a typical public hearing is supposed to be once the warrant is concrete that the board has decided on. People come for the public hearing not to have things changed, not to have the warrant changed, but to ask questions, be informative, but the warrant doesn't change from that point. So I know we had talked about that this warrant is due September 2nd. We had talked about having a public hearing on August 25th. So now, if that decision is to go with her recommendation, you can have the public hearing later after September 2nd. Because your warrant's not going to change, just more of an informative, come ask questions, find out those things.
Get yelled at why we didn't change it.
She said it's never been done like that, so.
Okay.
We were talking the other night with the planning board, weren't we gonna talk about that during the special town meeting?
Talk about what?
The November warrant.
Yeah, we would talk about putting
Any changes or whatever?
well, for the moratorium.
But you're adding a moratorium to the special town meeting.
The current moratorium,
Oh,
the one that we're at tonight, that's for the special town meeting.
yes.
And
That's September 2nd.
that's September 2nd. The November ballot, we talked about putting in his second piece.
The growth ordinance.
Which was the growth ordinance.
Right, but I thought we talked about doing this in August, so it would give us a little bit more time,
Doing what in August?
dealing with the moratorium and everything else for the special town meeting for people to get informed.
So what Dee Dee's saying, so this ballot for the November ballot has to be to her on September 2nd.
I realize that, but it's supposed to be free of any bugs anyway,
Yes.
right?
So what she's saying is if you have your public hearing on the 25th, it's not supposed to be a meeting where Brad stands up and says, I want to change it to this, and you guys change it around. She's saying you have a concrete warrant. People come, they review the warrant, they can ask questions, but it doesn't change after that. So you don't have to have it now before September 2nd.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm just relaying, I know we have a lot of dates going on.
And we did it because what we said was.
Because then you can get people's opinion.
Get
and
people's
we can,
opinion, and we thought about if somebody had a good point in the audience, that you could change it at that point, as opposed to just giving people a yes or no on what you've already thrown at them.
Couldn't this be done between now and then?
Well, that's what we tried to do.
we
That's what
have to have a warrant put together, which is, this is what, I mean, we have a lot of little pieces here. So we have to have a concrete warrant, somewhat, that then we can bring to a public hearing, that then either you're changing, but
Well, you can bring them a draft warrant.
Yeah, but you have to, if there's any funds, so we have to have a warrant signed, 7 copies, by September 2nd. You're just not leaving a whole lot of time to have a to get a draft together, have a public hearing, have a budget committee recommendation, and have a warrant to her by September 2nd.
So the disbursement ordinance, we already have.
So
The TV filming ordinance should be pretty easy.
What is it on the disbursement that you do not like? That you want to just change it so it's more than one select board member has to sign?
We were changing it, I don't know, I have it in front of me, but
So basically on B, it's that the disbursement warrant authorizes payment of employee wages or benefits or state fees has been signed off by at least one select board member.
that was being changed to 2.
Okay, that's what you want to vote on.
So that one's pretty simple.
So 2.
I think we as a board have to discuss the TV filming ordinance to where we
So I
want.
gave you copies of the 3 articles that have been voted on
Yeah.
since 2013. So with the conversation with the town clerk, basically the last one supersedes the one from 2020, which then states, I think, all elected. So in 2020, there was a vote to cut out the library board of trustees from the requirement of monthly meetings. She said after the 2022 vote, that no longer included them because that was not, it said public meetings held by elected officials. We didn't include that again.
And none
Technically, we've thrown them back
were
into
voted in
that.
as an ordinance.
No,
So
there's
they're
no
all-
ordinance.
So they're all gone.
So
we
I've
can
given
start
you
from
the
scratch.
three, yes, the three things that we did vote on, just have an idea of where you want to start
So we
with.
should have the ability to decide what we believe is in the best interest of the town from meetings that will be filmed, televised, cable cast,
Whatever.
yeah. So, I mean,
May I put something together?
yeah,
Bring it back.
I think, yeah, you can certainly start with something.
Earned paid leave, I gave you something like, I am happy to reach back out to the lawyer. This had kind of started with them when we reached out about our last earned paid leave question. I don't know what else you might want to add to it. It's pretty standard on what we're asking. Just reflects the state statute with it. There was highly recommended to put this into an ordinance.
Yeah, run it by the attorney, and as long as they approve it,
Okay.
it's all legal mumbo jumbo.
Okay. The transfer for funds from auditor, again, we are in the negative in the auditor account. We did talk, there's money in legal fees mainly. I mean, there might not be, who always knows, but that's in the legal fees is where that's when we separated accounts. We now don't have the option of moving money from all of those accounts. When we separated it, we have to now take that from, that's the only one that we have the option, unless you get it voted on. But it's legal fees is, right now is the
We
only,
separated those all out when we had that special meeting.
yeah, which is one of the downfalls of that
and-
now.
We've already overexpended that budget.
I think it's over by 12 or 13,000.
That's why you don't sign a warrant with a payment for the auditor, and we're already overdrawn.
But that, to me,
We can't-
being in the same account is the only one that we have any option.
Overdraw an account. I mean, she shouldn't even be writing those checks. You can't legally overdraw. The only one I think we can legally overdraw is general assistance.
General assistance.
Right? So, here we sit with, what if, I mean, if in November,
And I don't know, maybe
if
it's
in
all coming
November
out
the
of-
people say, we're not transferring the money, I don't know who reimburses that check. Huh? What?
Not Brad.
Don't know. So, I mean, that's, come on, we. Well, I guess we got to get some concrete numbers there and see, and that's, as Alicia said, one of the big problems when you vote each one of those lines at a time, which some people are advocated for, and it gives you zero flexibility to get through the year. Unless your budgeting is dead on, there's gonna be,
Can't move any money.
at some point, there's stuff you gotta stop paying or stop accruing expenses at. So, I think, I don't know, we may have to, let's find those numbers. We may have to look at taking our contingency money that we do control, which is very little, and maybe we can get us at least back on even footing before we get
We did talk
further in
about
trouble.
Julie's account, Julie's budget as well.
Our
as-
account, yeah,
Because there's no,
and we can move it from there,
no,
but in the meantime, we shouldn't even be.
no, I know.
Shouldn't even be paying those bills. Anyways, we gotta get some numbers before we can decide what that's gonna be. Wade will write the dog ordinance.
We do have a dog ordinance, 1996. Did talk to Wade a little bit about it before. Our animal control officer, I gave you the email. She said, basically, there's a lot of state laws that supersede stuff. Wade and I chatted, there's a couple of things that as a town, you have like a leash ordinance, barking. So I think that this could be reworked, which Kristen is, I've been working with her, so if you want us to just come back with something that she recommends, we can do that.
Yeah. Like I said, the barking dog part of it
Yep.
is in here.
Yep. I don't think there's anything about leashes, though.
No, we don't want the.
Oh, okay.
No. But everybody thinks that there's a leash law. There is no such thing as a leash law. It has to be adopted by the town. And the only other thing is the $25 impound fee.
Okay.
Those are the only ordinance. Everything else is in state law.
It's state law, okay. So perfect, so I can probably, parking, okay. And then the growth ordinance, the one that Stan, that you want to go on? Was that what the other part of it, the moratorium? Well, the growth ordinance.
I think that one, the planning board is revising more before.
I think we need to take
Okay, I mean,
look at that one.
And I know I haven't had a chance to fully.
yeah, so that's fine. I mean, I don't have any revisions on that. That would just be whatever. And then the two that Vinny is proposing right now is the only department head that I've heard from.
All right.
Okay.
Is there any update on the drain at the fire station?
Yes, we're waiting for the representative of Great Falls to come out. His excavation contractor, they have to, it's up to them to correct what they didn't put in correctly. And once that's in, it's up to us to provide the pipe, which we will put in ourselves, but there's still money left over in the fire department account to take care of that.
Okay.
So the bulk of that's gonna be on Great Falls. They're the ones who didn't put it in right. Am I correct in saying that?
Between them and between them and the excavation guy.
Yeah. All right. That is all I have for old business. Moving on to new business, keeping the Boy Scout Island gate open. I don't think that's a good idea.
So that was brought up by Stan. He said it's not, there's no legality of the town by keeping it open. I don't, the biggest reason why it was put up at the beginning was their like a reason they could drive. I've never been down there, but I guess
Lock
there's...
it at night, just keep doing
Lock
what
it
we're
at
doing.
night.
Don't leave it open.
Yeah.
There's too much, what do they say, nothing good goes on after 10 o'clock at night, and that's a prime example down there, so lock the gate. Yeah, you can go down and...
Patrol it.
We lived it for a couple of years with it open, and yeah.
I think the issue is if people are in there through a closed gate, they know they're not supposed to be in there. If the gate's open, they're like, I thought it was open.
Yeah.
So I keep it closed. We pay somebody big bucks to keep that gate locked. Set public hearing for auxiliary brewing company.
Where is that proposed?
I want to say, is it on Patterson? Brady has the packet, Patterson Road.
Wendy Thorne's mother's house over there. That's the old Guinness Brewing.
Where?
Stand by, please. It's on Patterson Road. Hey,
Across from June Rich's.
They're starting that up again?
next to Victor's.
Yeah. Beyond Victor.
It's under a different name. It used to be Nice Brewing, and now it's
Yeah,
Auxiliary.
okay.
They've done their part with Stan. They did their state application.
Yeah.
They just need a public hearing from us. We'd like to have it on the 4th at 7 to start.
Great.
That's staying as a brewery.
I know Stan is approving it, or approved it.
Just
If
you
that-
stays with the property, not the owner, right?
Right.
Doesn't it? What's that? I guess that would be a question to ask them. They'd have to look at their conditional use permit and see, but I assume they're doing,
Who's doing
I don't know what the conditional use was for, so they'd have to find out and ask them. Stan should know and see if there's any changes, but I think when we should have the conditional use, a copy of it, when we vote for it, or have the public hearing and the vote.
The big thing was the parking on the street. Where they had functions
Elliot here.
on both sides of the street.
They just started up. All right, I make a motion that we set a public hearing for August 4th at 7 p.m. For Auxiliary Brewing Company here with the selectmen meeting to follow.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Next on the agenda is acceptance of Norm Hutchins as Deputy CEO. I think we can just skip over that one. Or is there a motion on that? I am seeing no motion. We will move on. Next is Minuteman proposal.
I make a motion to table the Minuteman proposal for at least 2 weeks until we.
All right.
It's was some work for a camera that wasn't working, that is working now, and it's some licensing they want to charge us for last year that we apparently didn't pay for the licensing, but they'd like us to pay that now and next year, and we need to have some serious consideration before we write any more checks to Minuteman. So can you table that?
Yep.
You okay with table that for a couple weeks?
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
Budget committee, there's an open seat on the budget committee. We do need one person. If you're interested, you can reach out to the select board admin. We do need to put our heating bid out to bid.
Is it okay to put that out for, I can put that out, budget thing, Mark?
Yes. Right? Yeah, we have. Yeah. Yeah. And they can reach out to you if they're interested.
Just until March. It would only be until March, correct?
Yes. Wait, can we fill it or does it have to be elected?
So I think we can appoint, and since she got done, but then in March, even though her term just started, it would go like then, somebody would have to run for it.
I think we're going to point until the next election.
Okay.
Yes.
We do need to put out a request for bids for heating fuel for the October 1st, 2025 to September 30th, 2026 heating fuel season.
The dates on that need to be changed.
The dates, yeah, the dates need to be changed on this.
The dates.
I just
Oh.
taken last year's.
Okay.
No, I'll change them. Is there anything else that you want to,
Well, I think we
when do you want them submitted by?
definitely not next week.
No.
Do we give them 4 weeks?
I would.
We do the 18th.
18th is what I was thinking. All right. I think that's the only other thing that needs to be changed.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Do we want? I know in the last couple of years we haven't had all lines filled out. Do we have to require? I mean,
No, we did last year. It was the year before that but the last year they did.
okay.
They filled in all lines. And honestly, even though we advertise and we put it out,
One
we
company.
only get one.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do K1 and propane, and a lot of people get scared off by GA. Because
enough.
it can be somewhat demanding in the winter. So, especially if you're not, being a local company is a lot easier than if you're not here, and me asking you to do a,
3 a.m.
last minute delivery. That's how GA works. So,
All right.
you were
Sign-
not here for this.
Yeah.
I don't believe this is actually, I sent it to you. It's the grant that I wanted to apply for. That I gave them. I think I emailed it to you to start, and then I gave copies to these guys last week. This is the letter that formulated person that works for the York County Conservation. Kind of give you a template to go by, and you fill in your information. So you have that. I need to get that to him by August 1st.
All right, yeah. It was voted on last.
No.
All right.
So you can read the part, what we would be looking to just get grant money for. There's certain things that you could apply for. Newfield is part of it this year. I want to say Parsons Field. There's a couple other towns that he references that are also a part of it. There's no cost to the town. It's just a little bit of legwork that I got to do.
Yeah, I think this is great. The town is committed to working with the staff at YCSWCD to assist us in addressing stormwater, flooding, and road maintenance and the challenges that we face. We will collaborate with that department in identifying climate action priorities throughout the community outreach, self-evaluations, and a public workshop. I think this is amazing. Thank you. Do we need a motion for you to send this letter, or?
You sign it.
I signed it.
As long as everybody's on board with it. So.
And then approve the public hearing for Deepvale on 8/18 at 6 p.m.
We have a lot of public hearings.
Yeah. So I make a motion we approve the public hearing for Deepvale on August 18th at 6 p.m.
Second.
Perfect. Any discussion? All in favor? That's my own note. Hearing of citizens.
Hi, Brad Libby. I'm hoping I can convince the Board of Selectmen to contact whoever the power is that decides on speed limit signs here on Washington Street. People are zipping up and down the street. I'm not sure they know what the speed limit is. I catch myself doing it too, but it'd be really helpful if there were a couple speed limit signs on the hill here somewhere. I'm not even sure what the speed limit is. I think it's 35 miles an hour. What is it?
30.
30?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm
30.
Okay,
There was
well-
one time, yeah. There was a time I heard a state trooper say, "I caught someone going 50 down Washington," and I was like, "What's the issue with that?"
Well, a lot of people don't know what the speed limit is.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Obviously, I live here and I don't know what it is.
They don't know
But
where it's going by my house either.
I think there's one down, there's a sign
Oh,
down over the
70
hill,
all
I
the
believe.
time.
I thought you were supposed to. No,
Pedal to the
but
metal.
I think once they've determined it, you can put them up, correct? The speed limit signs?
Yeah, that's a state road.
Yeah, State Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There's a speed limit sign down there that says 30.
yeah, there's not a one from at least where the dam is to the top of the hill. Not a speed limit sign in sight. If they're worried about too many signs, they can take those foolish
No parking signs.
no parking signs down. If nothing else, they might turn them so people can read them. But
They don't put them on turn signals.
Hey, nobody's parked there since those went in. Nobody parked there
Nobody
before
parked
either.
there
So
before.
it's doing their job.
Police.
no. What about the speeding?
Speed.
Oh, I don't care if people speed. I just want to know how fast they're going, and maybe they'll slow down on their own. If we call the state police, I'll probably get the first ticket.
If they go fast enough, you don't hear the noise.
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn. I'm sorry, no, I didn't see you. I wasn't paying attention. I thought we were done. Don't apologize to me.
Gail Libby, regarding the Hollandville project, have the adjusting entries been done? Can I ask for reports?
I don't believe they've been completed, from what I've seen.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Is there any other hearing of citizens? With that, I second John's motion. All in favor? Good night.